Mark and Vanessa, we just got this confirmed by the Massachusetts State Police. They say they have opened an internal investigation into a potential violation of department policy by Trooper Michael Proctor. Proctor is the lead investigator on the Reed case. He remains on full duty, according to the state police. This comes one day after a hearing where lawyers for Karen Reed said that Proctor was not truthful about his relationship with people the Norfolk DA's office has identified as witnesses in the Karen Reed case. The defense says Proctor admitted this to a federal grand jury. According to the defense, Proctor was also offered a gift from a family member of a witness. Today, Reed's defense team filed a request for information from the State Police Internal Affairs Unit. That request is impounded, so we don't know exactly what they're looking for. I'll continue to work my sources on this and bring you any new updates. Vanessa?
Interesting update there, Ted. And you know, so many people, so many of our viewers are very interested in this case, and we know you'll keep tracking down new information. Thank you, Ted.
That was so good. I wanted to play it again. Too bad those websites make it so difficult. We got it up. Wow. Breaking news today. Didn't expect to do another show tonight. Yeah, we did 3 streams yesterday from court. We did the court stream, the restream of the Canton, from Canton Community Television. Thank you for them. And then we did the live show last night with Mazza Media and Sean McDonough. And then we did the Canton Select Board meeting, which again, oh my God, it's been, I didn't expect to come back tonight. I just threw together, I think, a good show for you tonight. We're going to have a good show because this is just too much news, too much. It's almost going to be a celebration tonight. I think you've seen it. You've seen it on the show, what's been going on. A lot of us have been threatened. We talked about that a little bit. I did. And tonight we may have maybe a couple other people, maybe one, we'll see, that have also been threatened. And tonight, with this news from Ted Daniel, Boston 25, they confirmed it. Massachusetts State Police Internal Affairs has opened an investigation into Trooper Michael Proctor. He's the lead investigator on the Karen Reed case. I know some folks like Kevin are just going to continue to spin this, but tick, tick, boom. I mean, and then what's fun about this, it's everyone's going to get the fuck down. So we'll be taking calls, and there's other news too that I wanted to cover today. Huge news. We got some people calling in a little bit later, but I wanted to, get some of your commentary. Number one, I want to know, the video I just played, have you already seen it? In the comments, have you seen it? If you've already seen it, and before we played it tonight, put a 1. If that was your first time seeing it, or you haven't seen it yet and you want us to play it again, put a 2. Because I think that video just came out like an hour or 2 ago, and I think everyone's already seen it. Because this is the news right now. This is the big friggin' news everywhere. 1. Everybody's seen it. There's a 2. Then someone said, no, please play it. See, I will try to bring it up again. Let's see if we can get it, because you got to go through the commercials, and it's really difficult to bring it up, but we will do it again for you all. I think we all want to see it again. How many? Let's get rid of the weather guy, and let's bring it up again. Get through a commercial.
They say they have opened an internal.
I'm going to start it right from the beginning because it's, let's start it right in the beginning here. Here we go.
25 investigates with breaking news in the Karen Reed murder investigation.
Investigative reporter Ted Daniel joining us now live. Ted, you've now learned the state police detective is now being investigated himself.
Mark and Vanessa, we just got this confirmed by the Massachusetts State Police. They say they have opened an internal investigation into a potential violation of department policy by Trooper Michael Proctor. Proctor is the lead investigator on the Reed case. He remains on full duty, according to the state police. This comes one day after a hearing where lawyers for Karen Reed said that Proctor was not truthful about his relationship with people the Norfolk DA's office has identified as witnesses in the Karen Reed case. The defense says Proctor admitted this to a federal grand jury. According to the defense, Proctor was also offered a gift from a family member of a witness. Today, Reed's defense team filed a request for information from the State Police Internal Affairs Unit. That request is impounded, so we don't know exactly what they're looking for. I'll continue to work my sources on this and bring you any new updates. Vanessa?
Interesting update there, Ted. And you know, so many people, so many of our viewers are very interested in this case, and we know you'll keep tracking down new information. Thank you, Ted.
There you go. News of the big news today. Huge news. Make sure it's on the screen with me here. Get my cursor to work. There we go. There it is. I got to say, it feels good. It feels good. I know the other side is going to say this is nothing. It's a formality. There's so much to come on this. Tonight's a celebration. Do you see the Boston Globe story too? I want to shout out Microdots. Last night we were talking about people who have stood up and, you know, some of the great people in this movement, I guess, and Microdots. Check out his YouTube. He's another one. I also want to make sure that we support Janelle Webb at Z Dispatcher on Venmo. If you want to give donations, give her a donation tonight, or Aiden Carney, the Canton 9, and freekarenreed.net. I'm going to be throwing up some different tickers tonight, places you can donate, because we also have some campaigns right now related to all this. So we're going to throw up a bunch of tickers tonight. So this is the part where if you want to donate, give at Z Dispatcher on Venmo some money, or the Canton 9, freekarenreed.net, or you can find Turtle Boys, Give, Send, Go, Aiden Carney. All right, let's so now, I mean, we're looking at this. This is just amazing. It really is amazing. And it feels good because we've been talking about Elizabeth Proctor a lot lately on Twitter, on whether you call it X, I guess, and also on the show. And this is a woman that called people's workplaces. This is a woman that was instigating the wife of the state police officer that's now under internal affairs. I hope they look at what his wife did too. I have a feeling the feds might. There's going to be so much. The feds are delivering. They said the feds weren't coming. The feds have come. The feds have come. And the feds are going to keep coming. Like, this is just like, it's like when George Bush attacked Iraq the first time. Like, the first day they would just bomb them for like, you know, an hour or two and just destroy them. But the next day they would give them a day off, and then they would just destroy them for like 20 days in a row. Like, that's what the feds are going to do on this. There's a good question right here. Mike, do you think the internal affairs will truly investigate or no? It's a really good question. It's something we're going to talk about a little bit right now. Because what else happened today that was huge? It's going to be another hearing. I don't know if it's going to be actually public or private. Like it almost seems like it might be a sealed hearing type deal. We won't even get to see it, but we know that there's going to be a hearing, and it's going to be about people's phones. And it's Kevin, Brian, Chief Berkowitz, and the Massachusetts State Police, the Internal Affairs Group themselves. So it seems like they're now kind of the subject. So will Internal Affairs really investigate? I hope they do for their own sake, because it seems like they're under investigation. And I wouldn't doubt if the feds are looking at them too. So it almost doesn't matter, because the federal government is going to do the investigation. You know? And maybe our attorney general, if she actually decides to get involved, which I hope she does. Sandra Birchmore, what's going on with that? There's been, this last week has just been story after story, good for us. It's been amazing for Karen Reed. This I wanted to talk about, because this is Rule 17 motion to subpoena these phones over here. Kevin Albert, Canton police officer, Brian Higgins, ATF officer, Brian Albert, the Boston police officer who retired, who was the homeowner. And who else's phone? State Police. And also Canton Chief of Police Berkowitz. They're going to have a hearing on this. And you saw Yannetti and Jackson in court yesterday. I mean, can you imagine? I don't know how the Norfolk County DA continues at this point. The longer they go, the more investigations they're going to create on themselves. Yeah, lots of eyes looking at them. And you know what's great? For months now, I've been worried about the black SUVs. Every time I see one, a Chevy, a Tahoe, I hope they're worried about the black Chevy Tahoes. You guys are right on the spot tonight. You know why I'm doing my little intro. I want to make sure I cover all my bases. This is the other thing. This dude stood. I mean, he took 60 days. They put all this shit everywhere. And tomorrow he has court at 9 a.m. They're going to try to throw him in jail tomorrow. So, after all what we know at this point, I hope it's the largest crowd ever for Turtle Boy tomorrow. 9 a.m. in court. And I want to talk about this Tim Bradle. If you haven't seen it, he had a great response about court yesterday that we posted on our Facebook page, on the Young Jerks on our Facebook page. You can read it all there. Here's some of it. This is, from the beginning to end of what he said. And one of the biggest things he says, Aiden was right all along and has suffered greatly. We should thank him for facing down this dragon. I mean, that says it all. We should all thank him for what he did on this. Sean on the golf, too. A lot of other people. We may have some of those other people, like even just people who have been just average supporters of this. I would say hundreds of people have been threatened by law enforcement on this. I mean, that's how insane this got. So tomorrow, Aiden has his court hearing, 9 a.m. I hope people show up. And tonight is a celebration because Aiden was right. Sean was right. I was right, I guess. I know I wavered for a second, but I never stopped believing. I just need a break. I need to figure out if sometimes you don't trust your own instincts, and you need to make sure, and that's all I did. And it all checked out. Let's look. Mazza Media's here. Let's bring him up right now.
Mike, good evening. Thankful to be back.
What's up, my friend? How you doing tonight?
Doing very good, very good. Had a good evening here tonight. So I got an invite to come on the show, and my schedule was good tonight. So here I am back again to discuss more breaking news that's come out this week. It's been a big week. It's been really been something else.
What did you think about this news tonight?
I'm actually a little shocked that the state police is they're actually going to investigate him. But I was listening into the show when I was getting ready, and I just made a note that I wanted to say on this show, and I was fixing it up just before I came on, and this is the statement I want to make. When the powers that be are found out, they will begin to eat their own who are on the hierarchy beneath them. That means the state police. What they're doing now is that, well, the feds are on this. So now basically what they should have done over the last 2 years is investigate him. They shouldn't be investigating him now. They should have been investigating him 20 something months ago, over 24 months ago. This is all now because guess what? They've been found out. And now what you're going to start to see happen now is that, oh yeah, it was Mike, and this cop was we did our own internal affairs, and we found out Michael Proctor now is he his whole thing was just corrupt, and we gotta, they're disowning him now because they're being found out, and when they're found out, they're going to get dropped by those beneath them because the state police cannot afford to take the hit along with them. So those are my thoughts, and it just came to my mind while I was listening into the show, and I wanted to make sure I said this, and like I said, I wrote it out because I wanted to say it very specifically, and that's just the case because they can only do favors for each other so long within that, where they just have to dump them and say, sorry Mike, you're on your own now, we can't go down with you. They were willing to cover it up as long as they could, so long as they did not get found out. Now this is where it's basically, you're on your own now, Mr. Proctor.
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? Now that just after yesterday, it's funny. The Kevins of the world want to make like yesterday was nothing, but it was so bombastic that this guy all of a sudden is now under investigation. I mean, that's how.
Right. March 13th, 2024. Many months after he conducted his investigation at 34 Fairview Road. That's just very amusing to me. And that's something I've always wondered, if this was going to happen, where all of a sudden everything was just going to fall all of a sudden, and they're just going to, they're going to start to just basically disown each other. This whole movement, like, even for example, how supportive, and this has been on my mind all day. I actually just, quoted a video that we had last night of Sean McDonough, who was on this show, talking about the O'Keefe family and just basically an eye-opening day at that hearing yesterday. Now all of a sudden the McAlberts were not there, and that was the biggest thing about that. And I watched one of the clips of Turtle Boy with LTL and Glare from yesterday, and it was one that Turtle Boy posted on his YouTube page, which was basically like, that's why she wasn't there. That's why she wasn't there, because they must have known somehow that this information was going to come out about that Google search indeed being valid. And this is exactly what's happened. And all along, the O'Keefe family have been unfortunate pawns in the McAlberts game this entire time. And they, to the eyes of those of us that are not educated on the free care and movement, the general population of Massachusetts and wherever that are not educated to this, they've had the O'Keefe family, the victim's family, quote unquote, on their side. So they've been able to kind of parade around with the O'Keefe family and make it seem like, well, guess what? We're the good guys here because we have the victim's family on our side, and we know Karen Reed. Now that they've essentially lost that, which was so clear as day yesterday, that none of the McAlberts were at that hearing. and the O'Keefe family was there and that whole group now that they've been, put themselves with the O'Keefe family has now been ruptured now that this FBI information has come out, and it's shaking their core now. This whole cover up at this point, as we've seen this week, is the ground beneath them is shaking like the highest magnitude earthquake, like the San Andreas fault
It's
was
over.
falling into the
Yeah.
Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Does it feel vindicating to all of us who have, stood strong? I mean, we had an onslaught. There are a lot of nasty, mean people on social media who have been attacking a lot of us and threatening us.
Yeah.
And doesn't it feel vindicating?
It absolutely does. And, I'm not going to be one to rub it in their face, but I am going to be one to celebrate. We were right all along. I am going to celebrate that.
Exactly.
I won't rub the salt in their wounds and stick it in their face as much as that might feel good. But at the same time, they, they've just run a campaign against this, against Karen Reed, against Turtle Boy, against you, me, and everyone in the comments section, everyone with the Twitter account, everyone
Even
that's ever,
just average
yeah,
people too. Like,
yeah,
we may hear from Katie tonight, who Turtle Boy featured on his blog recently. Like,
excellent.
there's so many people like that. Look, John
Yep,
Como, just even some of the women of Canton.
yep.
I mean, we should talk. I mean, I have the video. I want to talk about
Yeah,
what happened last
that was
night.
amazing
Did
last
you
night.
see that? What did you think about that last night?
I,
That Canton Select Board.
I was loving it. It to me it was a tale of two moments. It was Jennifer O'Donnell and Kristen taking on Chris Albert, and that for me was one part of it. And the other part of it was when it basically erupted in utter chaos for two reasons. One, the way they were talking about our side of the ball, and then also additionally when the Canton Select Board decided to cop out because they couldn't control the meeting and didn't like the way it was going and didn't allow our people on our side to voice their opinion afterwards. And something that really stuck out to me, and I put it right on my X page last night. I'm like, they copped out again. They shut it down. I like that guy that got up at the end and he got on the microphone and called out the select board. He's like, don't think we don't see what you're doing. That was beautiful. I was like, my fist was in the air, just like, you right on, brother. Get him, get him. I love and this has been one of the best parts about everybody in this movement. Like, we're a family, like I said yesterday, we're all in this together. And anytime any one of us steps up at any level, it's a great moment. And I just last night was amazing. And it was what's interesting is that Rita Lombardi kind of just said, you know what, I think I'll kick back tonight and let Jen take care of this tonight, and that was very notable. And Rita's been very vocal, but she took a night to just kind of maybe defer to let everybody else get the opportunity because there was lines on both sides that were like 4 or 5 people deep. But Jen O'Donnell, she is now like I've always had a nickname for Rita Lombardi, which is heroic Canton resident Rita Lombardi. Jennifer O'Donnell now has her own nickname that I coined last night. Badass Canton resident Jennifer O'Donnell. That's what I will be referring to her on my X page moving forward. Badass resident. Yeah, she was
She
awesome.
is the badass.
Absolutely awesome.
What did you think about that guy, Paul?
Paul was which one was Paul now? That was the guy with the blue shirt, or was that the guy that was on the right side with Jennifer O'Donnell?
He
Oh,
was on the right side.
yes, him. So he I was cool with him months ago. So there was, Turtle Boy on his live stream last night when he played back the video you had recorded for the meeting, recognized him right away. And this guy was first seen at the select board meeting where Turtle Boy was there with all the signs and he was near Chris Albert. And then he followed Chris Albert and Chris shut the door and then it went out in the parking lot and old man Stone Cold,
Yeah.
old Stone Cold got in his face.
Clips. Grandpa Clips. They call
Grandpa
him.
Eclipse, yeah.
Peter
Yes,
Hennessy.
him. He's like, I'm old Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm an old time badass. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
sit down, man. Sit
Yeah.
down.
Sit down. You sold TV ads, dude. You're a TV advertising sale guy.
So that after that incident happened between Grandpa Eclipse and Turtle Boy, there's an additional clip that Turtle Boy had posted. That guy, Paul McCullough, I believe his name is,
Yes.
was in the circle of people in a conversation and he was playing it. And Turtle Boy said this numerous times. He said, he seems like a cop to me. Tracy just said he's a corrections officer. That's
He
what I
is.
heard
That's what
too.
he says. Yeah.
he was playing it in the parking lot after that select board meeting. Like he was completely neutral, like he was
Exactly.
impartial. He was just there to collect information. And I always say people that try to pretend to be neutral normally aren't. They just don't want people to know what side they're on. They just want to kind of promote themselves like that. And I kind of had my eyebrow raised at that guy. He made some decent points to Turtle Boy, but it was very passive and
Exactly.
undereducated in terms to the greater point. And when I saw him last night, we saw him in his true form, what side he was truly on, what he truly believed. And he has, as much as I hate to say it, he has the right to his opinion just like anybody else. But he was very forthcoming about his side now, just like I kind of suspected going back many months ago. And just, looking at Jen, don't ever say bad things about my family ever. It's just, I don't know what she said or didn't say, but that guy was no better with the way he was kind of looking at her last night and reading to her and all that stuff. So he, and
It
I
was
just,
strange. It was bizarro. Like he was
yeah.
looking at her like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. It just seemed really bizarro. And then when he went to like move forward to the other woman, it like
Mhm.
you don't step. It looked like he was stepping, like physically trying to intimidate them. And
Yeah.
a lot of times his behavior, as what I've seen, is intimidating. Like he stands behind them and he looks like he's angry. Like
Yeah.
it's like the way he stares at them.
Right.
It's inappropriate.
I've never seen in the public eye, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm not as educated as I should be. I've never seen women get pushed around, or men try to push around. Maybe rephrase that. Men try to push around women like this. There's a
Yeah.
there's a apparent journalist out there that has been stalking Olivia Lambo and Jess Machado all over X.
Grant Smith Ellis. I'll
That
say his
must be
name.
him. Oh, there we
He
go.
he
Say it.
he has a history of this.
Yes.
He does. He has a history.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think we know why.
Yeah. Going after them, and the other guy there, Mr. Fails, he does it too. He goes after women all the time. They're pushing around women, and it's ridiculous. And I can't imagine carrying myself like that, like they do, and it's just ridiculous. What I've seen out there and the behavior, and it's just absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And it's nothing but stalking. It's borderline stalking coming from.
Why is it always women too? Like I all my beef is always with men. I don't like, especially the leaning in. Like I think Turtle Boy said it best. Like tough guy. Like he's acting
Yeah.
like a tough guy. Like
Yeah.
Paul acting like a tough guy.
Yeah.
Paul, you're not a tough guy when you're fighting women. Like you're
Even
not a tough guy.
Chicken Farm Charlie last night.
Yeah.
You ought to be embarrassed. You ought
Yeah.
to be embarrassed. To
I mean,
Jennifer
what
O'Donnell.
what
Yeah.
a bozo. What
Yeah.
a bozo Chris Albert is.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
you've been delinquent with your taxes in public. You've harassed tons of people like myself, with your threats, through third parties. You never have the balls to do it in person or with a letter to me. You just did it through anonymous trolls on Twitter.
Right.
And other jackasses that back you, that we know who they are. And
Yeah.
that's the type of shit you've been doing to people. We believe you sent letters to the citizens, the women of Canton. Right. It just so much of the stuff with this guy. He like Jen even called him out on. Here he used that woman to shield himself from, to set Turtle Boy up.
Yeah,
and
that's
with
right.
a big smile on his face.
She pulled his punk card last night. She absolutely pulled his punk
He's
card,
a
and
punk.
she hit it.
That's exactly it. He
Yeah.
is a punk. Chris Albert,
Yep.
you're a punk.
Yep.
And I like what Sean McDonough said too. He's the, what was it? The underachiever. He's the underachiever of the Albert clan.
The second best brother.
He certainly is.
Yeah. He might even be the third most successful, because I believe the other one's a cop as well. So oh. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. That man has been so passively aggressive for so long. He'll
And
turn
done
around and call the
nothing.
cops.
And done nothing on the select board.
Yeah. Oh,
like that's the bottom line for me. What have you done for public service on that select board this year, Chris? But say vote yes, 5-0. Yep. That's all you do. You don't speak. The only time you speak is to say something inappropriate and ridiculous, which you did like 3 meetings ago. You finally friggin' spoke and it was ridiculous, like it always is. Or you say nothing. You sit there and play with your coffee. You contribute nothing, and then you friggin' yell at someone who who spanked your ass and say they're embarrassing? No, you're embarrassing. You've been embarrassing for months. You should have resigned from the select board.
Yeah.
But you guys are so friggin' weak with your fake tough guy shit.
Oh yeah. Not impressed. And you know, again, the only most he said on that select board was last night when he was rebuttaling to Jennifer O'Donnell about being embarrassing. I'm like, is that? I actually thought it was John Connolly at first. It wasn't until like a second or third watch where I said to myself, and then I saw confirmation coming out online. It was actually Chris. I thought, I'm like, is John Connolly? Why was John Connolly stepping up on his behalf for? And finally, I came to the fact that it was Chris stepping up there and trying to shoot down. But I love when Jen said, embarrassed. And she kept saying that back to him. And earlier when she said, yeah, keep smiling, Chris. Keep smiling. That was a
Keep
great
smiling.
moment. Yeah.
Now, I want to note, because we're talking about Jennifer O'Donnell right now, we just put up she's got a campaign for a school committee. You can donate to her campaign. We have it up on the screen if you want to look for it. She's got a way you can donate to that school committee campaign. We're also going to, I think, put Rita's campaign up too. But they both have that donor box, donorbox.org. Just look them up, Jennifer O'Donnell. You'll find it. Mazza Media, I want to thank you for being here. Do you want to stick around, or do you want to, because I got another person I want to bring up. Awesome.
Sure. I'll stick around. You got it.
Let's see if she's here. I think we have someone who I wanted to bring up this person tonight because she had a blog that was about her, written by Turtle Boy recently. And it wasn't in a bad way. It was in a good way, because a lot of times when people say about a blog, you're like a Kimberly Fair type. But no, this was about what happened to her recently, getting a visit from the Massachusetts State Police. And it was related to this state trooper's wife that we have on the screen. And I think it was just another example of how they bullied people. The state of Massachusetts has been bullying people. And this person shouldn't have been bullied. And it was like really ridiculous. So we're going to talk to them, because I think we should celebrate with her a little bit, because now they're under investigation. Now they're under a state investigation. Now they're under federal investigation. Katie, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Mike.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Awesome. Celebrating a little bit. Are you feeling good about stuff?
Yes. I watched the stream last night, the court hearing, because I was working during the day, and I was just like blown away, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then tonight we're finding out this guy's under investigation. The State Police, Michael Proctor. How does that make you feel right now?
It's astounding. Like the fact that they came here, and like Yuri Buchanan was saying, like he's not under investigation. He won't be put under investigation. Like we have hard evidence against Karen. Like just the way he intimidated me. It makes me really happy to see that someone's finally listening,
Yeah. It feels like justice. Like,
yeah.
I mean, their whole thing was to try to use your, who you are against you, to try to get you to say some lies against Turtle Boy.
Right. Yeah. He brought it up that, because I'm an addict in recovery, he brought up, oh, I know you've had a troubled past, and like what that even has to do with anything, you know what I mean? Even if what they were like alleging happened, like what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. How many months later too?
Right. 9 months later, it's a crime. 9 months later, and it was 2 days before Aiden was set to be released as well. So.
Last ditch efforts. That's what it was. This
and they like came here 2 times. That was the second time they came. I wasn't home the first time.
And how did he treat you?
Like shit. Like he was getting angry, raising his voice, saying like we're conspiracy theorists. Karen's guilty. She's a murderer. Like he was not happy that I wouldn't just like fold and say what he wanted me to say, I think he just thought I was an easy target.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. It was like really scary. I didn't know if they were going to arrest me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look what they're doing to Karen. So it's like, what could they do to me?
Exactly.
You know,
I
and
mean,
my record has been sealed. So I don't even understand how he found out what, like, anything about me, you know?
have you,
So I just thought the whole thing was pretty crazy, but I'm happy that, like I said, people are listening. Something's going to be done about it, because what would have happened if the feds didn't get involved, like with Karen's case? Like, she'd be going to prison.
yeah. And Turtle
I
Boy,
just,
too.
right,
And Sean
exactly. He did
McDonough,
60
like,
days for no reason, like just to shut him up, basically.
yeah.
And for people to say like this whole thing is like a conspiracy and we're crazy, we're just blindly following Turtle Boy. Like, a lot of the people that are in the justice group and that support Karen don't even follow Turtle Boy, or they didn't before, you know?
Correct. Like, have you had a lot of sleepless nights over this? Like, worry
Yeah,
about
like I've been, you know, really, yes. I've been really like paranoid, thinking they're going to come kick my door. And I was afraid to like post on TikTok, Twitter. I was just afraid to post in general. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of not afraid now, but I definitely, yes, I've had sleepless nights. Absolutely.
what would you want to say if the FBI or the Internal Affairs were listening, or even the Canton Select Board, who have done nothing?
I just think they should all be taken off, like not be police anymore. Like all the state police that were involved in this, that kept their mouths shut, they just you know, they just need to answer for it. You know what I mean? I don't see how something like this can even, I don't even know how it's still going on with all this like exculpatory evidence they have.
Exactly.
Like, how was it not thrown out yesterday? How can Canoni, like, as a judge, like, if I don't know how long she's been a judge for, but you can see right through this. Like, and Lally just gets up there and just talks about Turtle Boy, like, to say that that's how we know she's guilty, because her and Turtle Boy talk. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy talk.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Michael Proctor is receiving gifts through his wife, who is the wife that was also harassing people for supporting Turtle Boy on this case on social media. She was calling workplaces, and then she's a victim, like Chris. Chris pretends he's this victim that was being witness intimidated and libeled, but he would send trolls after people. He would do what he did to Jennifer last night and show that he's not actually afraid of anybody. He's not being witness intimidated.
Yeah, he's never had to be afraid of anybody because of his family, you know, and I just think I think he's that cowboy guy on Twitter.
Yeah, how about that cowboy shirt? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great. But like, I showed you what he said to me, the cowboy person said to me on Twitter, right?
Yeah, you did. That's what I want to bring up, because there's a big debate. There's a Twitter account, Cowboy, I think 105 or something like that.
Yeah.
They've said some of the most heinous things on Twitter to people on, like threatened it seemed like physical harm to Rita Lombardi, for instance. This person's also said horrific things about John O'Keefe even. And they've said some horrific things to you. Like, half the people think it could be Chris Albert, half the people think it could be Yuri. Some other people actually think it could just be some crazy person, but I really do think it's someone that is close, like a Yuri or a Chris Albert. I'm not sure who it is, but there's a lot of questioning about who that account is, because there's so many accounts out there like that are nasty people, and it's going to be interesting to see if the feds actually expose some of these people for what they've been doing on social media. What do you think?
I would love to find out who that was. I personally, I don't know who it is, but I think it's somebody involved, like with the family or the state police, because like what they said was so personal, like about trying to get me like relapse. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't think that was just like a random troll. Like, that seemed way too personal, because right before that was said to me, somebody said to the cowboy guy, like, where's your boy? Like, meaning Colin, and saying it was Chris. And I was like, oh, he's certainly not at Bridgewater State. And then that's when he said that to me. So I just found it to be like way too personal, just to be just someone random, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for calling in tonight, Katie. It must
No
feel
problem.
pretty good seeing Michael Proctor's picture on the screen and on the TV screens at everywhere on social media. Michael Proctor's the one who's under the microscope and not you.
Right, because I mean, we've been here since the beginning. Like I said I said it on Facebook, like screaming from the rooftops, like about these police and the case and stuff. And it just finally something is being done about it, and I think we can all find some solace in that, and that like John will get justice, and so won't Karen. So I'm happy
Yeah.
about that.
You're getting some support online too. Kim just
Awesome.
said, we got you, Katie. So people are
Thank you.
noting. And I just say, if they ever show up again, don't talk to them. Tell them you have a lawyer. That's
Right.
it.
I know I should have done that, but like I was so like I was like terrified.
I get it. It's
I just didn't know why. I didn't know if I didn't sit down and talk to them, if they would arrest me. I didn't know what would have happened. But I contacted a lawyer, so I'll be more prepared if it happens again. Hopefully it doesn't though.
And you know what? Like one of the things when they started doing that to me, I got a lawyer.
Right.
And I let everyone fucking know I had a lawyer. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that we can all do. Just like Chris Albert has a lawyer, just like Brian Albert has a lawyer. I think we should all get lawyers. If you feel anyone's been threatening you like that, and let them know you have a lawyer so that they don't try to, F with you. I think we can everyone on social media, if you're getting that kind of BS, that was one of the best things I did. I got a lawyer right away, and I told everyone, I have a lawyer. You're not going to talk to me without fucking talk. My lawyers protected me, and I don't give a shit. I did nothing wrong, but since you guys are fucking so stupid to fucking come after me on social media and say that I did crimes and all this other crap, I'm getting a lawyer, and then you're not going to talk to me unless you fucking prove, because I didn't do anything. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So I think that's what a lot of people need to keep in mind. Mazza, you're still here. You have any comment on our conversation here with Katie?
Yeah, I do. The thing I was noting to myself when I was listening to you, Katie, Mazza, by the way, nice to meet you.
You too.
This is what I kind of thought. This is when you were talking, especially in the early going when you were talking, what they're doing to you is exactly what they did to Karen, in my opinion. It's the same kind of tactics. It's intimidation. And with Karen, they tried to intimidate her with high-level charges to get her to plea.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And with you, it's the same thing. They're trying to get you to confess to something, whether or not it was true or not. It's just to intimidate you, scare you, and worry about this stuff. And the way they talk to you are certainly, without question, intimidation tactics, and seriously unbecoming of people that are in the state police in Massachusetts, for sure. I must say that's
it was very unprofessional. He didn't record me. He didn't write anything down. Like I asked about a police report, like if I would be getting a copy, and he said, "Oh no." And I'm like, "Well, why?" Like I want a copy because there probably wasn't going to be a report, and I have to get on top of that. I have to see if they even generated one because I doubt they did. I don't think they were here like in official capacity,
I agree. I 100% agree with that, especially if they're not recording, if they're not making any notes or keeping any documentation or whatever. That's just an off the record visit. They're doing something wrong. And, and sometimes when you're caught by this stuff, you're taken by such surprise when something like that happens, where you don't think to say, I plead the fifth, or I'm going to get an attorney, because it's so striking and it's so shocking because you just can't believe, I can't believe these people are at my door right now.
I walked down there and I didn't recognize the sergeant or whatever, Kelly, whatever. And but then I saw Yuri and I felt like I was going to like faint. Like it was really shocking you're right. Cause that's what it was. I was just in shock, I'm like, what are they doing here?
Yeah. I mean, it is shocking. They would drive all the way from like Norfolk County to where you are. It's just, which is a long ride. It's a
2 times too. Who knows if they were here more, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, they can't just walk in my building because it's locked.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's important to note too, they're trying to obtain information from you, Katie, to get the Turtle Boy. So it sounds like to me, I'm willing to bet they won't be back. I'm willing to bet that it was a one-time deal. Let's see what we can get. Let's see if we can get some kind of
And if they
confirmation.
do, I have
Yeah.
a lawyer for you. You know what I mean? Like we'll get you a
Yeah.
lawyer. Like that's all you have to say. You have a lawyer.
I will definitely be prepared next time because I just was
Yep.
not expecting. Like my landlord said there was state police here, and I did think of the Karen Reed case for a second, but I'm like, why would they be here for? And then I thought the next thing I'm thinking is like someone in my family die,
Yeah.
because that's
Traffic
what they do. They
accident.
make
Yeah.
what is the word? I can't think of it right now. Like notifications or whatever. Like if somebody passes in your family in a unattended death or something,
Exactly.
But I
We
saw
got a
Yuri's
comment about
face and
Kevin. Someone wanted to know
sorry.
if we thought that Kevin had been visited and scared. That's what why he's doing this. I don't think so. I think he did get upset with Turtle Boy, like a lot of folks. There's a bunch of folks out there that their whole issue is Turtle Boy.
Yes,
Turtle Boy hurt
exactly
their
what it
feelings,
is.
so
At
they're
this
on the other
point in the
side.
game, if they're still saying she's guilty, it's because they don't like Hayden. That's it.
Yep. I agree.
And I also think that I think that Chris Albert probably did get in his ear about getting sued. But I think that the other part of it is I think he's friends with Chris now. Like when you become friends with people, they can influence you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's Kevin. Like I think and he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, unfortunately.
I love the Glare's name for him, Plevin.
Yeah, what is that about?
That makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah, it works. But how did he come up with that? Plevin.
It's so great.
Thank
just
you
like
so
the
much for
friends I've
calling
made
tonight,
in this whole thing, like the friends that I've like made out of the group and stuff like that. Like it's just amazing seeing all these people coming together, just it's the right thing to do. That's what people don't get. They think we're like a cult and all this. It's like, no, we just don't like seeing state police and Norfolk District Attorney's Office like framing an innocent woman.
Correct.
Yeah,
100% agree.
And then bullying their citizens because they have questions.
Like that's what I said to Yuri. I just said I'm following the case. It's something I believe in.
Exactly.
Like,
and how many?
I don't know where you're in my house.
Yeah, and Katie, you're a perfect example again of them bullying women. Like we talked about it in Canton. Now you're outside of Canton. And the state police are bullying a woman again. Like it's just over and over. It's this white, male power dynamic against women.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Plevin is retaliation for Kevin calling Wild Bill, calling the Glare a Wild Bill. That's
Wild Bill. Oh yeah,
That really is. That's not a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plevin's way funnier.
Yeah. Not. Plevin is. Plevin's not actually funnier. It depends what you mean by that.
No, just like the name, like him coming up with the name Plevin's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
Plevin's not funny.
Plevin's definitely not funny.
Yeah, but the nickname is.
Yes. I think he just wants to remain relevant, no matter like what what he says or.
Accurate. That's accurate. Yeah, that's so. Yep.
So we have another guest in the green room standing by. He's going to tell us about something going on tomorrow, which is huge with the district attorney. Again, so much news. We're trying to pack it all in. We got Aiden's hearing tomorrow. Katie, you have any final words for the listeners of what would you like to say to them tonight?
Well, I was planning a standout for this Saturday. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do it this Saturday. I have to check the weather. My job likes to change my schedule like at the last second, so I have to make sure that's all set. But other than that, thanks for letting me come on, and I hope Aiden does well in court tomorrow. I hope he doesn't go back to jail, and that's it.
Thank you so much. We'll be supporting them.
I just wanted to get Katie's X account. If what your
handle. Oh, you follow me. It's Kathleen J 4790.
Yes, yeah. I think I'd shared your video when you.
Everybody shared that video.
Yeah, that's a good one. Everyone did. Yeah, you're right.
I waited a week. I wasn't even going to say anything about them coming here, like publicly. I told a couple people in the justice group, like when it happened, but I waited a week. And the funniest troll comment was when someone said that I just talked to Buchanan, or however you say his name, because I wanted to go. I want my 15 minutes of fame. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Like I just call the state police, just have them so I can have a platform.
Did you had a lot of trolls coming at you, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just block them. I don't have time for that.
Very good. Yeah, I could tell you handled it well. So good
Yeah.
for you. Keep your head up. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, I'm glad you stood strong against them and called it out. Like a lot of
Oh
people
yeah.
wouldn't post it. You posted it. You showed
Right.
them that you're not afraid. That's the other thing you can do. I think that, lawyer and show them you're not afraid and post their shit. Like I would tell people to get cameras too. Anytime you're worried about this type of shit, get cameras too. But
Crack out
thank you.
that
Yeah.
phone and start
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in tonight, Katie.
No problem. Thank you guys.
And we'll
Nice
be
meeting you, Katie.
checking out your standout up in Gloucester.
Okay. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good evening.
Yeah, I think she's gonna do something up there in Gloucester too. So you can check that out. Follow her on Twitter. We were supposed to have Paul. Paul was there for a second, then he dropped off. But I think the big thing on Paul is they're doing. I think Paul's back. Let's bring up Paul. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey, sorry about that. We're having a little technical difficulties over here.
No worries. This is all just last minute show stuff. If anyone can call in, we're happy.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me. It's been a minute since I've been on here.
Yeah, and it's late night too, 9:30, 7, and you're doing something tomorrow. We just got this breaking news. Tell us how you're feeling. What do you think about Proctor? And then tell us about tomorrow.
All right. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. It seems like the snowball's rolling a little bit. It's going to get a little bit bigger as we go along. Between the news yesterday, I was in the courthouse yesterday, and witnessing that was an experience. I'll tell you that much. That was an experience. I felt like I was on a show on Law and Order.
Really? I mean, Yannetti was like bringing it, huh?
Oh, he was just bringing it. And Yannetti, Jackson, Karen was like boss in there too. So it was really, really good. And then the news broke about Proctor tonight. We actually had a standout scheduled for Weymouth tomorrow. And I talked to Dana and Tracy, and we said, no, we need to go back to Morrissey's tomorrow. And I put the post up. Press release is going out right when I'm done with you guys. We need to be heard. We need to be loud, and we need to be heard tomorrow. And hopefully we have some media there. But I know a lot of people are coming already. We're going to go to Aiden's hearing in the morning at 9, probably grab some lunch, and then head over to Morrissey's office.
And what time's that at? 3 p.m. I think you're
3 p.m. It's at 45 Shawmut Ave, and that's right in Canton. Always like to be in Canton. We've been there a couple times. Last time we were there, it was probably about 40 degrees colder than it was going to be tomorrow. So it'll be an enjoyable time. It'll be very enjoyable. We only had about 30 people there last time. The first time we had close to 100, and I'm expecting at least 100 tomorrow.
That's awesome.
So anyone that can anyone come if you can. It's Marcy needs to hear us. He does need to hear us. Every time we've been there, we've seen our other. I have to call him Bukaki because I can't pronounce his regular name. But yeah, exactly. So, anyways, we see him every time. Proctor was there last time. I don't know if he'll be there tomorrow, though. We'll see.
Yeah. So 3 p.m. over in Canton, DA Morrissey's office. Man, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on from here because it seems like all bad news for them lately, and it seems obvious why.
I agree. Is that Maz on too?
Yeah, Mazza Media.
Got it.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing great. Nice to talk to you for the first time.
Exactly, right?
Live, at least.
I've heard you a few times.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So I was real happy when I saw you getting a seat in the hearing yesterday. I saw you walking in on video. I'm like, all right, Paul, there he is.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little tricky getting in there.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I heard they got held up for like 15 minutes. I think.
What people don't realize is I don't think it was announced anywhere. The real holdup was Lally was late.
Oh, okay.
So once Lally showed up and let him in, then they opened the doors for us.
So he forgot his lunchbox at home, and he was waiting for his wife to drop it off for him.
No,
So.
he was in the parking lot across the street ripping butts.
Ripping butts again? Okay. All right, that makes sense. That's
Listen,
believable. Yeah.
if I was him, I'd go through a pack before I went into court.
Facts. Yeah, that's a fact.
But yeah, so that's the plan for tomorrow. I do know the Fall River Reporter will be there. Canton Community TV is going to try to get over there, but like I said, I'll send a press release to everybody tomorrow, right after I get off this, and hope. Usually they come, so they've come a couple times already, so they'll be interested after today's stuff.
Awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to see, the protest tomorrow. And Aiden's I wish the best for him tomorrow. I mean,
I do too. I really hope the best for him tomorrow. And
Absolutely.
we'll be there at 7:30 tomorrow morning, rallying up at 7:30. Some will be there earlier. I know they will be, but for the most part, 7:30. And then we'll get in that courtroom. That courtroom's tough to get into too, because it's actually an arraignment session. So he isn't the only one in there.
Jennifer Coffindaffer has talked about the protesters being paid.
Yeah, I haven't got paid yet. She actually, I believe she said that the defense team put an ad out looking for protesters. An ad. It's insane. We have no one's gotten paid, and if anyone else got paid and I didn't, we got a problem.
And didn't all the protesters actually pay Karen Reed into her defense fund? Basically, like that's what. Well, didn't you know?
It's actually I'll give the trolls something to talk about. It's a laundering scheme. So we take all our money, we send it to Karen, and then Karen gives it back to us to protest.
You know how it works, yeah.
That's a real smart laundering scheme.
Well, there's been a lot of shocking video of someone actually getting paid outside of these hearings, though. It's been captured on video many times.
Wasn't that the other side?
Has been getting paid in Cadbury eggs.
Oh, Cadbury eggs. No, but someone got paid to go to a hearing for Kate Peter or something, $50 or something the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
She did.
Yeah.
So who's actually being paid? It's the state police cooperators who are getting money. It seems.
Yeah,
like.
he's still around this week too, so he'll probably show up tomorrow too.
Yeah.
So he's not. Listen, that guy's he's not a bad guy. He goes where the money is. That's what he does.
Yeah. So the only paid ones we've seen so far are on the other side. That's so 100%. Funny. And let's talk about the way that people were at court for Karen Reed. This time they turned their back on a lot of the malcontents, didn't they?
Yeah, it was deafening quiet when they came. Although no one saw this, no one heard this, but I'm going to break it now. So the family was coming up. It was dead quiet. And then in the background, you heard somebody just go, tick, tick, boom, tick, tick, boom, the whole entire time. I get it, but I wish the witnesses were there for that, because that's what that would have been for.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was the plan. They don't, even the witnesses. We can start calling them criminals now.
Yeah, they're not the witnesses anymore. Now they're under investigation.
Yeah, so these
by
criminals,
their own police department, by the state police.
Even the criminals don't deserve our words. They do not. Because guess what? Eventually, Karen's going to be, the case is not going to go to trial, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says. And Karen's going to be free, and then they're going to be going into courthouse. Guess what?
Exactly.
We're still going to be there.
Yep.
And we can be as loud as we want then.
Yep.
Exactly. That's what it's going to be. That's what these fools don't realize. It's going to be a time when you're not a witness.
Yep.
So let me just ask you, Paul. You've been staging a lot of these rallies and marches, and have you been threatened by trolls or other people who are cooperating with the state police with lawsuits or even criminal charges? Have you been threatened too?
No, I've gotten no threats from any state agency. I've had some guest appearances on Twitter, thanks to one person. I don't even engage with them. I just don't. He puts it out there, and I just ignore it.
So
know?
one of the people have been threatening you on Twitter.
What?
One person on Twitter has been harassing you.
And it's occasional.
Yeah.
Like after a show like tonight, something will be on there tomorrow. Tonight it will be. I just know it will be. And I look. And one time I forget who it was. Someone did a real good one of me. I was doing a press conference with an interview with the press, and they slowed it down to make it look like I was special needs. I don't know what the proper word is nowadays, but that's what I
saw that
call it.
one. Yeah, I saw that. I remember they did that. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I almost wanted to text him and say, "Listen, that was good."
Did you ever think you'd see a world where trolls were weaponized by the Massachusetts State Police?
Yeah. Oh, 1 second.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
there we
the,
go. My
I
computer
guess
did,
that is the power of social media, right? I mean, in the state
yeah, my
police even
computer
have
did
to-
something funky, so I didn't hear you.
Did you ever think the Massachusetts State Police would be weaponizing trolls on like places like Twitter and social media? Did you ever like to support their case?
I never in my would see that. And listen, I go back to that when you said that, the first thing I thought of was General Donnell yesterday, and that's it. What she was talking to Chris Albert about is exactly what the state is doing. They're using these people to help them. It's crazy.
It is.
You know,
Basically deputizing them almost to on
Yeah.
a non-legal level. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they're basically recruiting them like they're their own, gang on the street, basically.
exactly. It's
The mass troll mafia. I mean, look at that. I mean, they basically, their whole thing was how awful Turtle Boy was.
Yeah.
But their ringleader, one of their top ringleaders, one of their top PR people, one of their top witness wranglers, I guess, or whatever you call her, mass troll mafia. I mean, what a joke. That was their PR thing. Like,
Yeah.
this thing has become a circus, and it's because of the Mass State Police.
Now, here's the thing, though, right? And this is where I think, and some people disagree with me. We all have First Amendment rights. We do. I don't care who you are. How you exercise it, you have to live with it. And that's what it is. They have a First Amendment right to say some of the stuff they say, and just like we have a First Amendment right to say how we feel. And that's the way it goes. You know, I'm a guy who takes nothing personally. And so when they put stuff up about me or whatever, I just shake a stick at it. That's all I can do, you know, and that's just the way I roll, plain and simple, you know. And if take our buddy Grant for a second. I know nobody likes Grant. I don't like Grant, but listen, I never say a word to Grant. Grant, as crazy as he is and everything, he has the right to say what he wants to say. Now, it's up to you what you want to believe what he says. That's just me.
I'm pretty much down with that too. But I also get to respond and like laugh at him and make fun of him a little bit.
Yeah, that is. I'm not going to say I don't watch all that. I'm just saying I don't participate in it.
Yeah. It depends. Like sometimes I feel like I don't want to even talk about Grant, but he's made it. You know, hopefully in like a month or two, I never have to talk about Grant again.
A lot of these people disappear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the state and the McAllen,
and I hope they heal themselves.
Yeah,
like honestly, I hope they get some therapy. Like a lot of these folks, man, you spent your whole life hating on people.
Yep.
Like that's not healthy. That is just not good for you, especially. You know, at as you get older and shit, it's like, that's why Grant's done some of the worst stuff to me. And I don't hate him. I feel bad for him actually. And I almost feel like, even though I hit him hard, cause like, I just, you know, you can't let that shit go, you know, especially on the level that he's been at, and someone's got to respond. So I always felt like I was doing good, like defending on Mar and some other stuff that he did. But, the bottom line is I don't hate the kid. That's for sure.
Hate takes up too much energy. It does. Exactly. It takes way too much energy.
Exactly. I don't want it to own me.
I came from a life like that. That's how I was years and years ago.
Exactly.
And I had to change how I felt. And, you know, even me doing this is way, way out of my realm of what I would do normally. And I just have a passion for it because of what I'm witnessing. So I'm gonna take everything positive out of it that I can. That's just the way I think.
And I gotta commend you, Paul, Tracy, Dana.
I could do it without Tracy and Dana.
Yeah, you guys did a great. You got the show that you're doing now, but also like the protests and the rallies. Like especially, I love the one that I went to, the Canton Police Department. How well organized it was, and you guys have done a good job.
Yeah, that was the first one, big one we did, and we talked about it on Sean's show the other day. Everyone left, and right before we all went out to dinner afterwards, right before we left, me and Tracy and Dana just looked around and said, "Wow, did you ever think we'd do something like this?"
You guys are the
Tomorrow,
best. I'll tell you that much. We love you
Yeah.
guys. What you guys do is unbelievable.
I love doing it, and I'm telling you, you got some people do things for themselves, some people don't. This isn't for me. This isn't for Tracy. This isn't for Dana. We're doing this for John O'Keefe and Karen, and that's it.
Exactly.
What we say it all the time. Before we make a decision of what we're going to do, we ask ourselves, how does it help those two? How does it help those two? And if it doesn't help those two, we don't do it. We don't say, hey, how does this help Paul, Tracy, and Dana? I am the least selfish person I know, as far as I'm concerned, anyways.
When you give, you receive too. I mean, that's the big thing, especially as you get older, you realize you got to give it all away anyways in the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. You do, so we'll be out there tomorrow. We're going to stay safe. We do got to keep our eyes and ears open, but tomorrow's going to be, it's going to be a great day. I know a couple people are a little disappointed we canceled the Weymouth thing, but this is bigger than our Weymouth standout. This is big. Coming off, especially whatever happens with Aiden tomorrow too,
Yep.
So I'm hoping Aiden walks out, and I'm gonna invite him with us. It'll be a good trip for him to go back to Canton.
Yep.
I hope so, because tomorrow could be such a good day, because I know this is weighing on him. I know that he's gonna feel so much better if he walks out tomorrow. So I'm praying that he walks out of there, and I think a lot of us should be praying. But if you can, show up tomorrow, 9 a.m. Get it there early.
Yep, we'll be there at 7:30. Get there at 7:30, and we'll hang out for a little bit. We'll protest a little bit. I was talking to one of the Dedham police officers when I was at Karen's hearing yesterday. It was a great conversation. He's there every time. He comes right after me and goes, "I don't know how you guys call this a protest." He goes, "You guys are like just having a little party. You guys are so good." He goes, "I can't wait to see you Thursday down the street." That's exactly what he said.
It's a party.
So listen, everybody.
It's really a little rally. That's what it is. It's a rally for justice.
Exactly. But I saw something in the chat, and I see it up there too. Listen, everybody, not everybody loves Aiden. A lot of us love Aiden. Not everybody loves Aiden, but listen, no one wishes this upon him. Nobody does. The guy's all he's doing is standing up for corruption and standing up for Karen Reed and John O'Keefe. And they are going at him hard. So when you go to bed tonight, everyone say a little prayer for him for tomorrow.
100%.
Thank you.
That's about all I got tonight.
Thank you so much for calling in tonight.
I promised my wife no shows tonight, but yet here I am.
I have Paul, I got a question for you, if Mike, if you don't mind me
asking.
No,
go ahead.
Paul
real
here.
Quick.
So just referring to the state police, yesterday you had commented that the Commonwealth are not done yet. The state police were taking pictures of you guys while you guys were standing outside the courthouse yesterday.
Yeah. So yesterday, maybe they had a feeling something was happening. There was more state police presence there than the past few visits. And they have their cars parked out front, and they were sitting in the cars taking pictures of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen that since one of the first times at the court hearing when they were actually hiding behind trees taking pictures.
Wow.
So
wow.
that and they say, listen, they got nothing to. A lot of people got nothing to lose right now, so they're going to try anything. Whether it's take a picture. Oh, who's this guy? Let's go visit him and see if we can get him some charges on him or her. But they aren't gonna. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. So I don't want people to get that impression that they get to be scared to protest. So far,
Paul, someone's asking, what courthouse tomorrow for Aiden?
Aiden is at Dedham District tomorrow.
Dedham District, not the Superior. Dedham District,
which is right across the street. They're right across the street from each other.
There you go.
So, and the court opens at 8:30. The arraignment session starts at 9, and then I'm sure he'll get called when he gets called. So I'll be there early. I want to try to get in there. I don't think they'll Zoom that. So it's an arraignment session. They don't really Zoom that out. I could be wrong, but although this is a high profile case, so there might be some media in there. I know Canton Community TV will be there tomorrow. So I don't know if they'll be in the courthouse or outside.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
I would love to watch that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we'll find out either way, because people like outside the courthouse. I'm sure Tom CPU will be there.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him tonight, but I'm a betting man, and I pretty much bet everything that he'd be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that, man. Great guy.
Yeah.
If not,
Hey,
check
Tom,
the justice pages. That's what
Tom's
I do.
he's a trooper boy. He starts from the minute he wakes up until he gets home on going straight.
I don't think he takes a bathroom break. I don't think he takes a bathroom break, Paul.
I have a tough time doing a show for 2 hours. I don't see how going live,
right?
For 5, 6, 7 hours at a time.
To tell you, Paul, the headphones start hurting my ears. I have to I'm suffering after 2 hours.
Any other questions? Oh, are we good?
No,
Anyone
we're good. Thank you so much. Again, tomorrow, 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Dedham District Court, and then get there early at 7:30 a.m. And then 3 p.m. is the rally, right?
Yeah, and for some, 3 p.m. is the rally at Morrissey's office. And for some reason, if Tom isn't there, Resistance to Silence will be on. We'll go live tomorrow while we're there.
Perfect.
Awesome. We'll be looking for it.
You're putting that advertisement out for the protests soon on your page, you said? I'll get that.
It's everywhere already.
Oh, it is? Okay. I'll get that shirt on my page. If you just want to tag me in it, I'll share it to my page for you, too.
Yeah, because what I'm doing is send a press release to all the news agencies, right? When I'm done here.
I see what you mean. Okay, got it.
Every time we do something like this, I send them a press release. If they come, they come. They don't, they don't. But I think
people can find out more info on
what happened the past 2 days and what I sell to them through the press release, they'll be there tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And the press release is in the Justice Group, Justice for John O'Keefe, Turtle Boy Official, right?
Well, the release about the rally is on theirs, but I actually type out an official press release to send out to Channel 5, 25.
Perfect.
Everybody. And see if they show up. So
I hope a lot of press shows up. Thank you so much, Paul, for calling in.
No problem. I'm gonna go read. I'm gonna get up here and chill out for a minute and go see what everyone's got to say about me on Twitter.
Yeah, and celebrate too that this whole thing that Ted Daniel reported is huge.
Well, actually, I don't want to take away from your show. So after this show, guys, what I'm hearing is you might want to go take a look at at least all of Sean's show, but at least the second half of Sean's show tonight is what I'm hearing.
Why? What happened on it?
I think Sean's on fire. That's all.
Oh, Sean's on fire again.
He did have Jen O'Donnell on tonight too, and then I got a couple text messages. Are you watching Sean? I'm like, nope, no, I'm not. And they go, you got to go watch him.
Yeah,
but don't leave here to go watch him, guys. After Mike's all done.
Well, no, you can go watch. I think he's done actually already, isn't he? Yeah,
he must.
I started later because Sean was on at 7. So
yeah. So yeah, someone's in the chat now.
But I'll be definitely watching it. I watched some of it. See, I watched the beginning of his show. I didn't watch the second half where.
Yeah. I love listening to Jen.
Yeah. I love listening to them both, Jen and Sean.
Yeah.
I love how we all have channels and we support each other too. That's a good thing.
That's exactly it. It's like a little community, which I never thought I'd even be part of. Like this whole resistance to silence. This just came out of thin air.
Yeah. It's good. Sean was on fire tonight. People are talking about it in the chat. Sean was great tonight. I can't imagine.
He was going after everybody. Paulie, Proctor.
See, I was ready to go back to Jen O'Donnell and the select board meeting to close the show, but I might have to go to Sean now. Now you're talking me into it. I also had Nick Rocco. I also had Turtle Boy on Howie Carr. So much to go over, but
it's been a week though, hasn't it? Of shows,
right?
That's been awesome.
I forget what sleep looked like.
It's fun.
Then you got Will the Glary. You got Tom, who's 6 hours on the ground. Then you got the Glare, who does 6 hours on a show.
And then you got Micro Dots is another one.
Yeah.
There's so many good content on this.
There is.
I love the Glera. I gotta say, the Glera is my dude.
And I don't care who's on Twitter. I love everyone on Twitter, but my favorite, I'm sorry, is Olivia.
Oh, she's great.
Likewise.
Oh, and Sean. I'd say Sean actually over Olivia because I'm like meat and potatoes. She's analytical. I love her stuff, but I have to read it and like I don't have the time. That's why I like Sean. It's just like boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's like whack you in the head. 2 seconds, you got it. You know what I mean?
Actually, Olivia teaches me. That's why I look. I
Yeah.
read it and I learn stuff. You know,
I
so
get
it's
it.
cool.
She's great. I mean, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, we can't. And Sleuthy Goosey, she's in there too. She's awesome too.
Yes.
I see her in the chat. Hi, Sleuthy.
Oh, she's in the chat. We should post some of her comments now. But I'm looking for now. I'm looking for the Sean stuff. I didn't have all this plugged in before, so now
Turtle
I'm
Boy went
typing
live on
Sean
Facebook.
up.
I'm hearing too tonight. He went
Yeah,
live.
Turtle Boy went live for a little bit too. I heard
Did he?
it.
So
Yeah,
I'm missing it all. This is what
So-
happens when you go live. You have to catch up later,
exactly.
unless you play it on your show, which I'm probably just going to play some of Sean's on our show if we can.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I got to fly, guys. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Paul.
the invite, Mike.
Good
I hope
luck
to see everyone
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Mike, you're always invited. You know that, right?
Yes, I wish I could be there. I got so many freaking dogs tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I understand totally. But the invitation's always open wherever we are. You're invited.
Yes,
You too,
I
Mazza.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Where are
yeah.
you? Are you from Mass?
I'm from Central Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
I'd say my town, but I don't feel like having the state police knock on my door tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. or a troll.
Right? Yeah, exactly. They have a pizza delivered to my house like Turtle Boy.
That
always does.
happens too. That's nothing though. Who cares about
Yeah.
a pizza? I don't give a shit.
Just make sure it's pepperoni and sausage.
I want them to show up.
But when
I don't know.
it's all fun and games when the pizza shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except when your wife
I
doesn't know.
enjoyed it. I paid
Except
my
when
good
yeah,
money.
but the
and
problem
gave
is
them
when
good
your
tip.
family doesn't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I really got to fly.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Paul.
it, man.
Take
Later.
care, Paul.
I'll
Great
see
talking
everyone
with you.
else tomorrow.
You too. Bye now.
Thanks.
All right. We're the Young Jerks. We're having conversations with different people in this Free Karen Reed movement. Big court hearing for Turtle Boy Aiden Carney tomorrow, 9 a.m. Dedham District Court. People going to show up. It's going to be a lot of supporters, hopefully. They're going to try to jail him. He's the hero in this thing. And they're still trying to jail him. So got to show up if you can. And also 3 p.m. outside Morrissey's office, DA Morrissey, there's going to be another protest at 3 p.m. in Canton tomorrow. People are telling me I should throw up this Sean and McDonough. I think we're going to have to do that. What do you think, Mazzamini? You got any comments on what's going on tonight?
Yeah, no, not right now. I'm interested in hearing what Sean said. I love when Sean goes off. It's amazing. He's awesome to listen to. That's all I got to say.
Oh, I guess this is, I think, when he gets off with Jen. I see the Michael Proctor, and I could see his face change. He's like, this is like gonna be good. I can tell. I think we should put it up. What do you think, Mazza?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. His call outs last week on your show were hilarious. I was
Oh my
the
God,
guest
he's
after
amazing.
him, and yeah.
He's fucking like, oh my God, dude. It's like, where does this come from? You could also see why he was good at what he did, because like,
Yeah.
a drug officer has to kind of fit in, and people have to like you. You know what I mean? Like in the drug culture, it's like a lot of it's based on trust. And if they like you, they trust you.
I see people are asking what his YouTube channel is. I'm just going to drop that in the comment section for everybody right there.
Yeah.
Sam.
Can you drop that in there for everybody?
Yep.
But it's
right
at SA McDonough. That's the easiest way to find it.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going to bring him up if I can.
I liked what you said last week, that if someone sent Domino's to your house, you'd pay for it and eat the pizza. I'm of the same kind of thing.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming too, and I met him in the driveway.
There we
They
go.
didn't even they've said on the thing, knock loudly. They never got to knock. I met the car in the driveway. I knew they were coming. I had the cash in hand. I gave the person a great tip, and it was good. It was a good night meal.
That's awesome.
And that's the thing, like, for me, going through this whole thing, what's been going on with the stress, the trolls never bother me. I don't give a shit what people say online. I don't. I really don't at all. And I don't care if you send me pizza. I don't care. I don't give a shit. But when the state police are threatening you and they're using these, trolls, witnesses, that shit is stressful to anybody.
Absolutely. Well, even getting back to Cowboy Fan, a lot of those threats against Rita were being made in responses to my posts. I'd post like a clip of the,
Yeah.
the Canton video, select board meetings you'd post, and I'd cut some clips and drop it. Then in minutes, it'd be a post. He eventually blocked me. He eventually blocked me because I kind of started screenshotting a lot of what he was
Yeah.
writing.
Me too. You and I
Yeah.
both went after him big time at one
Yeah.
point, and he blocked us
Yeah.
both.
I got tired of it. When he started going after Rita, it was just like, okay,
War.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It turns out to be who we think it is this whole time, like Kristen
Mm.
Anderson's shirt was suggesting. That would be interesting to know that.
Yeah.
You know,
We don't know. It could be also the
Yeah.
other dude.
That's right. Yep, it could be any one of a couple individuals.
So
I'd
let's
say-
see what Sean McDonough had to say today, Mazza.
Sure.
News that broke just before I came on. This man, this gentleman right here, finally, somebody got to their senses and put this guy on the radar. Now, what does it mean? Does it really mean that he's under investigation, right? Or was he always under investigation and it just broke, okay? Love to talk to Ted Daniels about that. I understand he's the one that broke it, okay? Let's talk about this right now. What we found out yesterday, he minimized his relationship with the Alberts. I broke news from a very, very good law enforcement source, okay, that a Canton cop, I still can't.
Yeah, I want to stop it right there. I'm glad he brought up Ted Daniel. Why the hell isn't Ted Daniel talking to Sean McDonough? Sean McDonough's got a huge audience, number one. Number two, he's got intelligence on this that nobody else has, a Canton cop who stated that. I mean, I don't understand why Ted Daniel hasn't put Sean McDonough and Peter Murphy, a camera crew in front of them. It just doesn't. It makes so much sense. Ted Daniel, I think we all need to tell him, you need to interview Turtle Boy. You need to interview Sean McDonough and Peter Murphy. Like, we need to see that happen. I don't get why Boston media hasn't done that.
I know, of all people, Sean's qualifications are through the roof.
Yeah, through the roof.
Yeah.
And Peter Murphy, his qualifications too.
Yeah.
And the amount of years he was a Canton police officer.
Yep.
These just put them both together, and it's just like, holy shit, look at these two guys, what they're saying
Right.
and what they've got documented.
Say his last name. Former Canton cop, Ryan Scovovia, whatever his name is, his training officer for Canton PD used to call him Frenchie. He then went to the state police. He's a very upstanding, he's a, how do I want to say it? He's a salt of the earth guy because he bucked the system. And he said, I'm not going to be pushed around by the state police. Let me tell you something. I have a lot of respect for that guy. And he said that he and that guy right there, Mike Proctor, absolutely associated with Brian Albert at that house, at pool pies. You heard Alan Jackson just say when he mentioned pool pies, that's what he's talking about. They all associated because cops hang with cops, especially when you live in a town. Okay, so this guy is on the hot seat. Let me tell you something right now, people. This is happening. It's all the onions being pulled back. It's all being pulled back. But I have a great, listen, here I go again, listen. All right, Linda, all the other people out there that say, listen, right? Here's the thing. This guy is an overnight sensation. The next guy I'm bringing on, he's a superstar. He's coming down the stairs. He's getting standing ovations. Let me bring him on. Here he is, Peter Murphy. Look at this guy. Peter, talk to us.
This is awesome.
Come on, you're giving me way too much credit.
Come on,
I
look
got,
at you.
I got caught off guard yesterday when I came down those stairs. I had been up in the court. I'd been up in the courtroom, and
I can tell you right now, I was never so proud to see that reaction that you had. Seriously, my friend, it was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible, Peter. I was so happy for you because you know why? You're one of the heroes. You came out. You were the reason I came out. And I said, this is bullshit. I'm coming out. And I'm so happy to have you here.
Well, I'm happy to be here because you and me and thousands of people in town and across the country and in Australia and Dylan.
Wales, Ireland.
It's everywhere. I mean, this thing's taken on a life. And what they thought was going to be the perpetrators of the crime, now that we know yesterday in court, that car didn't hit John and John didn't hit the car,
Amazing.
and all the other shenanigans that were
Yeah.
played.
We're
Now,
going to
they had
get to that.
3,100
We're going to get to that.
All right. Okay.
We're going to get to
I'm
that.
sorry.
What I want to get
I'm
to,
as
Peter, right
animated
now.
as you are right now. I'm
Right.
angry.
Now, this is not over morning coffee when you're just, I know you got a lot of excitement and energy. We're not talking in the morning now like we always do. When you say, buddy, call, right?
Buddy,
So here we are. I know
buddy.
you're angry. So tell me, you come down the stairs. Something great happened. What happened? Tell me what happened when you got down the stairs.
Let me just back up one second on that. I had been in the courtroom watching everything that was supposed to go for 7 hours, according to Arnie Bev, and all of a sudden she comes out late because lunchbox was late, and she says, "Oh, Mr. Jackson and Yannetti, you have 10 minutes."
Oh.
She had promised them they'd have all day, 10
Right.
minutes to decipher 3,100 pages. Anyway, after that, I stood out in the hallway with a couple of other very famous people, strong supporters of Karen, strong-willed people in the town, women.
Yeah.
And you know who they are. I'm not going to mention their names right
No,
now.
I'm going to mention right now my very good friend Kelly Reed. Did Kelly Reed come up to you?
The father came up to me.
Okay, but did someone come up to you, a female come up to you first and say, "I want to introduce you to somebody"?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Come on, Peter, stay with me now. Come on, stay with me.
She didn't identify herself. That's why I didn't
I'm
know
sorry.
I didn't want to say
gave it up.
Yep.
I gave it up.
That's all right.
All
So
right.
anyway, yes. All right. So
What
anyway,
was that moment like? You meet the father of Karen Reed. What was that like?
I can tell you it was it was one of the more emotional moments of my life. And you and I have talked about this. This case has taken on a life that you and I never experienced with all the cases that we had in law enforcement in over 3 decades. I never got as involved in this case, in any case, as I have in this case, Sean.
Right.
And I covered some very sad cases, some tragic cases, a domestic violence murder in Canton on Pequot Street. First one on the scene, me, did the report. So I've got a lot of PTSD in the back in the back of my head. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've never got so emotionally involved in a case. And I know you said that also.
Of course. I mean, how can you not? When you know now that, listen, Peter, when we first talked, let's tell the people out there, when we first talked, right? We really didn't know where this was going. We were always questioning, could she have done it? Come on, Peter, what do you think? Could she have done it? You said,
Right.
Well, John, I don't know, maybe. But you know what we always did? We did this, people. We did this all the time. We went back to basics. We went to the evidence,
Bingo.
right? We went to the dog box.
I love this because that's what I had to do too personally. Sometimes you just got to go back to the basics and go over it. That's what I think that Kevin never did, unfortunately. What do you agree on that, Mazza Media?
Yeah,
I think Kevin
absolutely.
got caught up in one narrative and didn't follow the actual facts. I think that's his biggest problem.
Absolutely. When
What
stuff
he
is new to
accused
you,
everyone else of doing, he actually did.
right? Yeah. He even called me a grifter one time, and I remember Olivia rushed to my defense and said, "Maz has done like 2 shows on YouTube. Just get off the guy's back."
Yeah.
It was just crazy. But yeah, I know when you're learning all this stuff in the early going, it's a lot of information right out the gate. And sometimes when you go back and look at it from the beginning again, when you're more educated to the whole thing, you pick up
Well,
more.
there's so much you almost forget about what you know.
That's right. Yep.
And then when you go back to it, you're like, holy shit, like that you can't get over the fact. Like for me, the basic stuff, like the fact that Proctor screwed up so many spelling of names, that doesn't prove anything.
Mhm.
But to me, it does. It just
It's an
shows you
eyebrow raiser.
they had the intent to cover this up.
Right.
They had the intent, and it was over and over again, every step of the way. Like just the lying about when they towed the car. I mean, Proctor lied. So many things like that. So much. And the taillight, they're not finding the taillight at first, the second, third. It just so much of this.
We went to, and we were in virgin territory. We weren't getting the amount of information. Listen, Peter, myself, there was 4 other people involved in the team that didn't exist. It existed, people, and we were knocking down sources left and right. It was amazing. And slowly but surely, Peter broke the story about poor his buddy. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, and Peter, let's put it right on the table. Brian Wallace is a good guy. Yes or no?
Brian Wallace, I hope is or will be soon returned to being my best friend or one of my best friends.
Because you know something, he is a good guy, right? And if Brian is listening out there, I don't know. I don't know. We never, ever, ever wanted to smear Brian Wallace, right?
Correct.
I know you
We did
didn't.
not.
I know you didn't. I know I
Nope.
didn't.
Nope.
Our biggest concern was, and we always said that they were going to hang him out to dry because he, in fact, admitted to you of doing something that was not illegal. It was not illegal. I'll be the first one to say it. It was not illegal, right?
Right.
What he did, but what Proctor and company did to him was awful because, as we've talked about this before, they did not put him on the all-important chain of custody for evidence. And
Right.
I could tell you right now, Brian is not a bad guy in this. As a matter of fact, before I ever met Pete and we talked about everything about Brian was spot on. Good guy, a cop's cop, hell of an auto body guy, obviously, right? But
Right.
wrong place, wrong time. If I had any criticism at all, and I can probably halfway understand it, right, is that the fact that he wouldn't give up the person who told him about to come up there and do what he did. That was a little off for me, and I'm sure it was for you.
Hey,
But it's-
Mazza,
Yes, sir.
you see that comment right there that we just put on the screen?
The highlighted one, right?
Yeah, who do you think that might be?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. I got a hint, but we'll see.
Well, I'll read it. It says, I was happy to introduce Peter to Bill. Bill Reed appreciates all of your support for Karen more than he can put into words.
Oh, yes. Now I know who that is. Yes.
Who does the audience think that KR is?
Mhm.
Ah, man, I'm proud that I supported her.
Yep.
You know?
It took me a minute. Now I know. Yeah, absolutely.
I think she's listening.
Yep. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're
Karen Reed and John O'Keefe, good people.
Yep.
Yeah, her dad.
Mhm.
Who are they talking about? Who do you think we're talking about right now? Kelly. Oh, it could be Kelly Reed.
Could be Kelly.
Actually,
Yep.
we're not sure. Is it Karen Reed or Kelly Reed? Either way, whoever it is, we're happy they're listening and watching right now.
Absolutely.
And we're proud. I'm proud. Karen's sister. Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is Kelly.
Yeah, we're not going to stop fighting for Karen and John O'Keefe. That's for sure. And anyone else in this movement that's involved. We're just a whole team, a whole family, a whole movement, and we're just going to continue to battle and fight and stand up for one another and stand up for Karen and never give up. Never
Yeah,
give
now our
up.
whole chat is saying hi to Kelly, which is awesome.
Kelly. Yeah.
Free Karen Reed. It's pretty cool. They were talking about Kelly, and now Kelly is in our
Yeah.
chat. Hi, Kelly.
That's awesome.
Do you tell we're all happy? I hope the Reed family is as happy as we all are tonight, feeling the love.
Mm-hmm.
It's understandable, right? It's understandable.
Yeah. I would assume that whoever directed him to take that out, and we can assume it's one of two people, and probably his supervisor, or chief of police at the time.
I mean,
probably,
the guy that
probably had a gaggle order on him and said, "Look, you're not going to do any reports. You're not going to do a chain of custody or a supplemental to from on what you did, date and time, directed by Chief so-and-so to remove a taillight on behalf of the state police request, even though how many hours after the reclusion of the case from Canton, turning it over to the state, did they involve him by bringing the car to their Sally Port?
Right.
Come on, Sean.
Exactly. Well, I'm pretty sure that the guy that got finally mentioned, we always knew, that we talked about this. We knew who the dark horse was in this whole thing. We knew who the evil genius was in this thing. And he finally surfaced today. His name surfaced on those Rule 17. I'm going to tell you right now, we know one thing. She can't give them 10 minutes on this next round because they're going to have to give up why they're wanting Chief Berkowitz's cell phones, Brian Alberts and Brian Higgins, and Kevin. Oh, poor Kevin. Is Kevin going to be crying again up at some pizza shop? I'm sure he's going to be crying because now he's come into play.
Anymore.
See, this has been a slow drip. The Albert family is finally being, I said the other day.
Do they still serve chicken farm
I've got all the dirt.
at D&D
Right? I've got all the dirt. Come at me. Sue me like you said you were, like you told Kevin. All right? Kevin told me you were going to sue me. Sue Mike Crawford like you've been spouting off, like you just sue us all. But but Chrissy, make no mistake, I've got all the dirt. If you truly want to go down that road and face me and the others with the discovery,
we're going to stop it there. When he went off on our show, was that yesterday or the last? I can't even remember.
It was it was last week's episode. Yeah,
when
it was
he
the
went
one
off on Jamaica.
I think that was the one. Yeah, he was. Like,
I don't even know.
everybody.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's like Sean has been so busy. I haven't got like following up with him like I typically would. But like I don't even know what he's talking about with Jamaica. Everyone wants to know about Jamaica. I just know this guy has tons of dirt. Like I know Sean at this point. Sean is like a riddle. He has the dirt. He knows what's going on. Sean does.
He's like Liam Neeson in the movie Taken. He has all his connections and all his sources to get what he needs to get done. I will find you.
Yep. And he doesn't share it all, but sometimes it comes out.
Yeah.
Jamaica. Well, let's listen to. I guess this is where Sean goes off. I want to hear this. This is getting good already. I can tell.
Yep.
I didn't even know he brought on Peter Murphy tonight. This is amazing.
Awesome.
I want to thank our audience because there was so much good content to listen to tonight. This is what I need to hear right now.
Going to have in front of you with the depositions, and we're gonna have camera, right? You're not gonna be able to yell at Jennifer O'Donnell,
right,
when you face me, my friend, because I'm gonna hit you with all the dirt, right? So come at me. Listen, I'm a human. I've made mistakes. Trust me. I've never made the mistakes you've made, my friend. Chrissy Albert, your family is being exposed. You know something about the underachiever? Okay, I'm going to give you a little secret here. Fredo is not stupid, right? Fredo stole some, I don't want to say this without being, Fredo got the goods on how to make dentures, right? We know how that happened too, my friend. See, you're all a bunch of pieces of shit. Every last one, your father too. Every last one of you are the same. But you are the underachiever, right? The kid at least knew how to make dentures, right? But he stole that. He stole that idea. Trust me, you don't want to face me under depositions. Sue me. I don't have anything to get anyways, right? I have my ex-wife, my mother, my children taking half my pension. Come at it. Nothing's in my name. Come, you want to sue me? I will gladly give you anything you want, just so I can face you and your scumbag family. Please do it. Please. I'm begging you. This is what I want. If you think I did you wrong, sue me. But let me tell you something, Chrissy, baby. You'll never survive what I have. It'll all come out. The pictures, Jamaica. That's right, buddy. That's right. It's all going to come out. Right? The car rides with Timmy Walsh, Rob Gooley, and Big Brother Brian. Oh, buddy, trust me. Trust me. The flop house over in Norwood with Brian and fucking Eddie Hernandez's wife. Buddy, that's just, let me tell you, Chrissy and Brian and Kevin, that's just the tip of the tip. Where's the stupid camera? That's just the tip. That's just the tip. You think Turtle Boy's bad? You're fearing. You're sad. Someone made you turtle. Fucking turtle.
When he said the tip, he's like, well, you see that, Mazza?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. All I need is the Stone Cold Steve Austin music to play in the background.
Seriously, this is like WWE shit. He's got Sean is something else, man.
Rolling. Absolutely.
Yeah,
rolling.
this is what I was thinking too. Like I'm
like
laughing my ass
comment.
off. This is such a serious shit that we're covering. But man, he gets you going. Like someone said, am I bad for loving this too much? Am I bad for laughing at this too much? Now he's dying. Other people are dying too. I know.
Yeah.
Sean is just so good at this. He really is. That's why it's like Boston 25. Why the hell haven't you had this guy on?
Yep.
He's decades in the DEA. He breaks every record on the show every time he comes on. He's just he'll go. Turn the camera on, he go.
Oh, he
He's
does.
got the info.
Total natural. Love it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Major said, you haven't come after Big Daddy yet. I'm Big Daddy, motherfucker. I'm Big Daddy. Come at me. Peter, I'm back. Riled up. Anyways,
We got the MBTA to put the train back on the track.
Oh.
Okay.
these people. All right. You're
This
in
is
the room
gold.
yesterday. You got the poor O'Keefe family. You got yourself on the other side. I saw you on TV. Let's play some. I want to play some right here. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Let's see.
Perhaps that's why, in contravention of Judge
I gotta
Cook's
stop this for a second,
preservation
too.
order,
So people are asking, what about the McDowell with dentures or something? Too? They stole the. Hey, what was that about? What was he talking about? The dentures? Did you get that, Mazza? I think I have Mazza speechless too.
Oh, I was going to say I was on mute. I apologize. Yeah, I didn't get that reference either yet. I'll have to look into it, but it's something that's new
He
to
said
me.
something about the dentures. I guess they're saying the Albert stole dentures, or I don't know.
Some kind of like design or something. I don't know. Jeez. Big Daddy. That was that was hilarious.
He
Big
was
Daddy.
like, oh, that was hilarious. That was so good. He's on fire. I don't blame him at this point. I mean, come on.
Awesome.
He's been delivering. You got him on these shows every night. He's killing it.
He has that whole "come at me, bro" vibe, and it's unbelievable. I love it.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Big
Come at me, bro.
Daddy. Big Daddy was on fire tonight. Oh, wait, you can't call him Daddy because they get mad if you call people Daddy.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to say that.
Called himself Daddy. They got mad at him.
Yeah, absolutely.
The state police got mad because he called himself Daddy.
Yeah. Big Daddy.
Sean, you better be
Don't
careful. The state police trolls will come after you for calling yourself Big Daddy.
Yeah, you got to watch out.
DA Morrissey's office gave the go-ahead to Brian Albert and Brian Higgins to destroy or dispose of their phones. We only learned that because the federal authorities revealed that in their investigation.
How outrageous is that?
Well, Peter, that had to be a moment, right? Let me tell you something, people. I said this before. It
was one of many moments yesterday, Sean.
Well, I'll talk about this moment. There's only one or two ways that information came from the feds to the defense and Karen Reed. Either it was human, which is human intelligence, or SIGINT, which is signal intelligence. And I'm going to break it down. It was either Brian Higgins or a cooperating source that had the dirt to know that Morrissey gave the okay to get those phones destroyed. Or it was SIGINT, that a court order, right, was
this
given.
is great comment. It's so on point too. It says Scully Wonka said TB maybe beat. Oh wait, let me say it again. Turtle Boy may be Daddy, but I'm Big Daddy. That was just. Oh my God. I love
Classic.
It. I can't stop laughing. I can't even pronounce words right now.
That's all good.
Now
hey.
Sean's getting a serious shit and I'm still laughing about the joke. And I'm looking at the chat and everyone's laughing in the chat.
Yeah, the chat's electric right now. I love it.
Yeah. Sean just does it to us.
Yep.
Oh man. I gotta play it again. Duh.
Sure.
There we go.
To legally monitor the phones of Morrissey, and maybe, just maybe, they caught the whole conversation and much more. We don't know why all of a sudden hey Berkey, I see you back up getting, some pizzas down at Buddy's or whatever that place is. I don't know where the hell you were the other night. My buddy saw you down there. Said you look pretty good, Berkey. I'm happy you made a recovery. You made a recovery just in time to enter the show. You're in the sideshow now. See, the worst thing that wasn't Proctor. The worst thing you did, Berkey, is let your ego get you into this game because you just wanted that last bit before you went out. You just had to find taillight, right? That was never on the street. We know this. I know it. Peter knows it. It would never made it to the street, right? But you just had to have a supporting role because your ego, because you were always a buff, Berkey. You were a buff, right? Your kid's a buff, right? You didn't fucking chase anyone in your life. You couldn't do shit, right? You used to ask Brian, Albert, what was it like to be in the army? What was it like to shoot people? Because you know why? You didn't have the fucking balls to get in the army, did you, Berkey? But you want to become a fake cop, right? You didn't do shit in Canton. You did nothing. You did nothing. But guess what? Someone's going to jail. And I think you're all over those wiretaps. I think your conversations are all, I think you're the guy that got the drum rolling at 1:30 in the morning when Higgins called you, right? I could be wrong, but why did the feds give your name to the defense? I said this months ago, that you had a starring role in this cover-up and the civil rights violations of Karen Reed. Always was coming back to you. But like I said, you chose it, buddy. You chose your destiny. You were dirty with Gooley, right? You were dirty with the people that you roast the friggin' thing with the kid that got thrown, Sean, whatever his name was. The kid got thrown out of the car and you missed it. You ordered those dash cam videos erased. We got that too, my friend. We got you dead. And maybe they were investigating you. Maybe they were investigating you the whole time. Your guys, your detective guys went behind your back and wrote a letter to Morrissey on the Birchmore case that they disagree with Morrissey. They went behind your back, Berkey, right behind your back. You thought you had these guys bamboozled, right? Play on my side and I'll grease you like your little lackey fucking Lank, right? He hates you too, but he played the game. But the real guys stuck it up your ass. And now you're getting it. You just bought a ticket to the big show, my friend. And you know something? You're going to be a disgrace. Your reputation and the veil and the mask is going to be taken off. Make sure this gets recorded, Berkey, because mark my word, get this put on tonight. You, my friend, are going down. You're going down.
Wow.
Peter, tell me what it was like in the courthouse.
Wow. We get a bunch of super chats coming in, so I just wanted to comment to the super chats. Chris Chirp says people speculated BA hit injuries in the days after JO death. His interview was done 129 at McCabe's house that has ring cameras. Anyone pull that? I don't think anyone pulled the ring cameras from McCabe's house. I haven't heard anything about that.
No, I haven't heard anything about that at all.
Yeah.
None.
Scott McGinnis also had a super chat. He said, suddenly Mass AG Andrew Campbell takes over Birchmore case and MSP Colonel Jack Mon is investigating Proctor. Laugh my A off. Feds breathing down their necks much? Exactly. I mean, that Birchmore stuff, it's a tell. It's obvious. And I think that Sean just said something right there, which was, I didn't think of that or hear of that, but it makes sense at this point now, especially with having Mizzy on and some of the stuff we're hearing, that one of the detectives that didn't agree with that on what happened on Birchmore might have been the one who started the federal investigation.
Yeah. You could have leaked some information over to
Yeah,
them.
remember Kevin kept saying, oh, there was no predicate. Oh, that would be pretty good predicate to open a federal investigation. Maybe it was on Berkey from the very beginning.
Yep.
And now Berkey got himself involved in this other thing by the evidence. Oh, man. What a dumbass, dude.
Jeez.
And I think Sean has got a lot of info.
Yep.
Just
Sean
like
knows his
Turtle
stuff.
Boy has had a lot of info. These two guys have been on it.
Yep. Absolutely. His education level on this whole thing is incredible.
Yeah. And he's from the town. I mean, that also helps a lot too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Even if he doesn't know these folks, he knows how to speak the language. A lot of them went to the same high school, like it just, you're going to know someone who knows somebody.
Yep.
I want to thank Aussie Insider too for joining, becoming a YouTube member tonight. And
Aussie's great.
Fish Capades, a friend of mine. She also sent $1.99. She said, leave Grant to me. Tick, tick, boom. A lot of people like that they'll take care of Grant.
Yep.
I'll just do my show. I think that's what I should do. Right, Mazza?
That's right. Do what you got to do there, Mike. That's of course. That's fact.
Give me your impressions.
Sure. In the courtroom itself. Is that what you're talking about? You had asked me before about
I want
Kelly coming.
like to hear what you heard yesterday that Jackson's talked about. Talked about guys you knew from Canton.
It was incredible. You should have heard. You could hear the people on the defense side, on Karen's side, sitting behind her family. You could hear them with each nail that came out that went into the coffin. It sounded like a staple gun or a 22 shot. You know what a staple gun or a impact gun sounds like. It's a cap, bang.
Right.
Every nail that the defense put out had a ring to it, and you could just hear it and feel it. Everybody, you could see their shoulders go back on the defense side. You could see in the back of their head their smiles. It was incredible. And whenever they said that the car never hit them, and all the other exculpatory and also inculpatory for some people's names that they were dropping in law enforcement, I looked across at the prosecution side, and they were quiet. And I also heard that there were a couple of people that went to dinner yesterday. And I'm not going to get into it. You might get into it more. You probably have it. You seem to get something about 2 days, 2 hours, 2 months, 2 years before I get it. So I'm not going to steal your thunder, but you probably heard about who went to lunch yesterday. There were a couple of interesting people that went to lunch yesterday, and we can only imagine what the topic of discussion was. And there were a lot of cars parked at certain locations yesterday of people who didn't show up.
And you know, the other thing, Sean, like women love Sean. So yeah, a lot of people love to talk to Sean. So I think he gets a lot of info. Human intelligence. Yep. What do you think, Mazza? I mean, do you think that's a big part of why Sean knows how to get like Natty Ice, the crip walking. You see her video, the crip walk thing? That is the funniest video.
No, I haven't seen that yet. You gotta send that over to me.
The crip walk video?
Not yet, no.
Oh, you got to see the Natty Ice crip walk video Sean has.
Yeah, I got to check that out. I have not seen that yet. So much media out there, you know what I
mean? Yeah. Sean got that one too. She sent it to him.
Court from the other side. It was an interesting day, and it was a very rewarding day. And when I got to meet, when Kelly came over to me and introduced me to Mr. Reed, I can tell you it was one of the more emotional moments in my lifetime, never mind my police career. And I walked him downstairs with my arm around him, and we talked. And he went in the other room for the debriefing, and he saw me standing out talking to somebody else, and he came out of the room again and shook my hand, and he said, "I can't tell you how sincerely appreciative I am of what you've done."
Absolutely.
Pretty important stuff.
What a true testament to your coming out and your blood, sweat, and tears, and at personal risk for what you're doing. Okay. So you mentioned something pretty important. The car, right? The car. This guy right here. All right. This is the lead detective. Okay. So I'm going to take the lead on this. All right.
Yep.
A good friend of mine, Billy Berhaney, right? He's the guy that got me into this, right? He told me the other day, you know, Sean, I was thinking about this. They had the clothes, they had the solo cups, they had the DNA, right? Right. He says, Sean, I believe every bit of your taillight theory. Absolutely, no doubt. Okay. He says, I bet you 10 to 1 they put John's clothes underneath when they're smashing that taillight and little particles come down. I said, Billy, that's an incredible theory.
Practical.
But how about this? And I hope Kevin, you know, I know you're watching, Kevin. You say you don't watch me. I know you're watching me, right? How about this? An independent reconstructionist for the federal government, actually independent. The feds hired this guy. Unbeknownst to the defense or the Commonwealth, he's got 3 PhDs, Kevin. 3 of them, my friend, 3 of them. And he did a reconstruction, right? And his conclusion was, right, that there's no way that John suffered those injuries from being hit by that car, right? Do you understand that, Kevin? This is not about theory. This is about physical evidence, okay? And that was the issue, Kevin. And you told me to fuck off. or whatever the hell you told me. You called me a loser. You said you knocked me off the show. That's fine, Kevin. You're done, Kevin. Kevin's done.
Kevin Rage quit.
Jennifer Coffindaffer. I love about Jennifer Coffindaffer. She says she's an FBI agent, right? Well, guess what, Peter? I mean, come on. Her own predecessor agency is investigating that fool right there. That fool right there, she defended, right? She is I guess, when we knew this, remember I told you, Peter, that they were going to get their campaign back in I guess it was the September-ish, October-ish, when Turtle Boy went down, that they were going to get their campaign. So you know what they did? They got a loser, half-ass fucking writer in Kevin to do his what do you call these things? Streams, right? Streams.
Yeah.
And they got a half-ass law enforcement person. What to mimic me?
All right, that's classic. I also had to note that we've got some celebs here. Glera is in the comments, and John Como just dropped a joke. When John Como drops a joke in your chat, you gotta recognize it. He said, "So I've been thinking. It just seems to me that Julie's offer to Proctor is a classic case of squid pro quo." Oh boy, did I screw that up? I think I got it right.
They said it right. Squid pro quo. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. We also have Brandy Churchwell. I want to get her back on the show. I actually want all these people. I want Como back on the show. He calls in. I was trying to get him to call in tonight. He's playing hockey, drinking with the boys after. But I want to get Brandy Churchwell back on the show. And she's shouting out the Glera too. And that's a guy that I'm definitely planning to try to lure him on the show if I can.
Watched his show earlier tonight. I always got to watch the Glera when he's on.
Yeah. And Erica Madden's in the chat too. Love it.
No Coffindaffer in the chat tonight. She's not watching. Wendy Murphy's not watching. Nobody from the other side.
No, I mean I'm sure they're watching. They don't comment. Erica says I'm not calling him daddy. Well, you don't have to call him daddy. I don't call him daddy either. But I almost did like today because I know the guy's worried about jail tomorrow and good things are happening. But I want to ask you, Erica, would you call Sean the Big Daddy? I might call him Big Grampy. Or
I saw someone say Big Papa in the comments earlier. Big Papa.
Big Papa. I like that for Sean.
I love Sean's energy. It's amazing. The whole come at me, bro energy. I just love it. It's awesome. I got the facts. I got everything. Come at me. Come on. I dare you. I love that energy.
Well, Stacy says, TV is my daddy. Sean is Big Daddy. So she's all in. She likes both nicknames. I'm the big beard.
The big beard.
Until I chop it. All right, let's watch a little more of this because this is good stuff.
Really? So you get Jennifer Coffindaffer in your camp, right? And she's in with Chief Rafferty, right? People, I'm going to tell you right now, all you people out there, Catherine, Little Mystery, DW, Liz Nelson, Dave's channel, Liz, all these people wanna smoke one? That's a good one. Jay Burke, right? Let me tell you something. The mask is basically hanging, right? I don't know. Did they change the hearing? I thought it was supposed to be March 20th. Maybe it's March 28th, but I can tell you right now. Kudos to Dave McGrath, right? Kudos. God, I'm going to get off this real quick.
Good man. Love Dave.
Dave McGrath has always stood by that 227. He said, absolutely, no doubt, 1,000% certainty. And guess what happened? And a good friend of mine, that Olivia now, look at Olivia. Olivia now, our other partner who wants to remain solid. This guy's the genius. Peter, even you don't know this guy, right? Because we keep people protected, right?
Right. Always
said, Celebrate and the FBI are one and the same. And guess what? This fool right here, right? Proctor, his state police are one and the same with Celebrate. They messed up on purpose. They completely lied. But the good thing is for everyone out there, if the
I got a question. When is Turtle Boy's court hearing tomorrow? It's at 9 a.m. At Dedham District Court. Get there early. There we go. Someone has the address. Mazza Media puts it right up.
Absolutely. Doing what I do best, right? Spread the
Yes.
information.
And Chrissy gives the comment, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. Can't you see? I'm not going to start trying to rap. I'm not a rapper.
didn't hit John,
I'm not Turtle Boy.
that means the taillight's gone, the DNA's gone, the what do you call it? The microscopic bullshit particles that's in his clothes is gone. We call it GOA, gone on arrival. Right, Peter? You get to a call?
Yeah,
Get out there, right?
yeah.
Sorry,
you
on
TL.
GOA.
TL,
GOA, right?
unable to locate.
I mean,
Right?
think about it though, Mike. If
All
I
right,
could just
so let's get back to the other
stay for a
bombshell.
moment here.
The one of the premier FBI.
Yes.
Think about this for a minute. Karen Reed, she's going to look for John, 5 o'clock in the morning. Backs into his vehicle. Does nothing but crack it. That's a solid object that she backs into. And it causes a crack. That's it. That didn't shatter the tail light. When she turns around and drives off, the tail light's still intact. And they're claiming that hours earlier, it shattered by hitting not another vehicle, but hitting a
body.
man
Yeah.
that doesn't weigh anywhere by comparison.
That would move too.
Right.
Like once you're hit, you move. You either go under or you bounce off.
Right.
So
It's total,
I mean
total
that
nonsense.
this is the stuff, the evidence that when Sean was presenting it to on this show, even before that on Twitter. When I took my pause, I started looking at things. That was the stuff that I kept looking at. You can't. You couldn't reason there was any other solution on it. And it's so obvious to anyone paying attention.
Yep.
Let's listen to a little more, Sean. Then I got to wrap it up too.
FBI agents at
Sure, you
Quantico.
do too.
I spent a lot of
Mazza.
time at
Like,
Quantico.
Absolutely.
Once
Bet
in
you
their
did.
own building and once at DEA's building.
Yeah.
I think I even saw Berkowitz and Alina holding hands when they went to the National Academy, because I used to bring foreign agents back to Quantico to get trained. They were special investigative unit guys,
Yeah.
and we trained them. I believe I saw Rafferty and Kenny holding hands. One was in class, one was not in class. And then when the other one was in class, the other one came down. We know the game, guys. We know you guys were having an affair. Everyone knew that. That's all right. No one's perfect here, right? It's fine. The secrets are coming out. So the guy in Quantico, the FBI specialist, this is not Garino. This is not whoever else they had. This is not Jessica Hyde. This is an FBI specialist, the premier law enforcement agency in the world, people, in the world. Freeloader Woodchuck in the world said, without a doubt, that Jennifer McCabe, that's why she wasn't there yesterday. She got a preview of what Alan Jackson was going to say. And I think for her and the family, it was a blessing that Auntie Bev gave her only 10 minutes. Listen, lawyers take 20 minutes just to introduce their names. To give a guy like Alan Jackson was a slap in the face. But guess what? They knew beforehand that he was going to say the Google search at 227 was absolutely made by her. That's why she didn't have the courage to show up. And when you saw Mrs. O'Keefe crying, all right, it hit her. I saw her crying. I think I saw, what's his name? Kyle Dougal, all right? Hold that name because I got something to say at the end of the show about our friend Kyle. This is going to be great, guys. So, says the Google search occurred. You know why they're so hung up on the 623 and 624? They allegedly say that Karen said out of the blue, go check, as John has already gone to Jen. That's a lie. But she did check it just to throw people off, right? Her husband's an IT specialist, right? They probably had some kind of comms back and forth. She was erasing people's names left and right. We still haven't got to the bottom of her Verizon cell phones. And look what dropped today. All those records. Kevin, baby, you were being really quiet, but we got worried about you. Where were you that morning, Kevin? Where were you going at 2 o'clock in the morning? You weren't going down to Cumberland Farms to buy some milk, were you? No. Where were you going that morning, Kev? All right. What's your phone records going to say, Kevy? Come on, Kevy. And guess what? Now we got Brian, the two Bryans, texting each other when they're supposed to be sleeping, right? Right before
So I
Jen.
just want to make note. He's not talking about Kevin, the talk show host. He's talking about Kevin Albert, Brian Albert, and Brian, the ATF agent.
Makes the all important 227, right? But here's the killer, the mother of all. You got the district attorney telling Brian and Brian, go ahead, smash your phones.
Yeah.
But don't you know, you can never smash your phone and get away with it because there's always a record, and the FBI had it. But the best one of all the ones, Nicole Albert has a telephonic conference with all the principals and Adam Lally, right? The guy prosecuting Karen Reed has no ability to counsel Nicole. He puts himself in the trick bag. And that's, how did they get that information? You think Nicole gave it up? The grand jury minutes are in the hands of the assassins. The telephone tolls were given to them because of the geofence that the feds provided them. They didn't even touch upon that yesterday, all right? Peter, you know that, right?
Yep.
They limited them, right? And the simple fact is, Michael Morrissey had an ethical responsibility to tell Karen Reed that his office and his investigators were under investigation. Their witnesses were under it. It doesn't matter if Karen herself was doing the investigation. The game is not played that way, right? Right? When you are on the other side, it's your job to give up exculpatory evidence to the person you are prosecuting. Right. And they, for 7 months, hid that. And Lally, that's the best Lally could do. Well, you know, they knew because they were the ones bringing the case. Well, guess what? It probably didn't happen that way, Adam. It probably was like this. It probably said, hey, Miss Reed, guess what? You are being victimized, all right? You are the victim in a huge civil rights case. You're not only innocent, but they're trying to frame you, right? It wasn't them, Kevin Lenahan and Grant, whatever the hell your name is. It was fucking the FBI that probably went, like I've done 1,000 times, to a person I've heard on wiretaps, they're going to smoke this guy. I go to the guy and say, you're done anyways. But if I have a moral obligation to tell you that they're going to kill you either way, so come on board with me. It doesn't matter if she was a defendant in a murder case. What matters is they had an ethical responsibility to tell Karen she was being fucking framed. There's no other way to say this, right? And so Morrissey and Adam Lally, I'm not going to say it, but you know what they were hiding? They were hiding it forever, and they got caught. And they got caught because the letters, I don't know how Ted Daniels got that, but Ted Daniels got those letters and exposed the corruption, okay? And this guy on the screen right here, this guy right here is the lead detective. It all started with him. Who called him in the morning at what time? What did Berkey do to get him?
I love it. I think we should just leave it there because Sean really laid it out tonight. I'll probably watch a little more in the morning or maybe even later tonight before I go to sleep. But I got to make sure my dogs are all set tonight.
Yep.
What do you got any final thoughts, Maz, of watching that? I mean, it was just, I feel so confident. And then just, you know, when I listen to Sean some more, it's like, yep. Yep. And then Sean lays out even more like stuff that we don't even know that Sean's investigated. So it's
what I've been waiting for months. Yeah, I agree. What I've been waiting for months, Mike, is just this kind of week to happen where it's a series of wins. Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We hope again tomorrow with Turtle Boy not going to jail again. You know, this has just been a series of wins, and this is really the sun is starting to rise and the light is starting to shine. Darkness thing.
Yeah,
very reassuring. Most reassuring. This is the best week in years of this whole saga. Is this particular week? Things are moving forward, and things that we've long expected to play out are playing out now, and that's wonderful. And I'm very fired up, quite honestly.
Justice doesn't come quickly, but it does come often. So,
yep.
And we're looking for it here. I think we're gonna get it for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed, and she has been a victim. She's been the biggest victim of this whole cover up. And then Turtle Boy, there's been the Kid 9, Janelle. We need to make sure that we're continuing to raise money for them. Actually, I'm going to put some of their banners up again. Support them. Z Dispatcher. Tomorrow, Aiden has his hearing at 9 a.m. Aiden Carney court hearing. They're going to try to lock him up. If you can, show up there 9 a.m. Dedham District Court. Get there early. 3 p.m. There's going to be a protest at Michael Morrissey's office. Definitely, if you can show up show up and make your case why he needs to be removed, why the charges need to be dismissed. I'm looking forward to see what happens from here. And I love having Sean on the scene and Turtle Boy and everyone else that's been doing it. Micro, there's been so many. Micro Dots, Mazza Media being here tonight.
Thank you, Mike.
Also, Paul for calling in earlier. He was great. And who else did we? Oh, Katie called in tonight too.
Yep.
So see all these people stepping up, and we all took our slings and arrows, but in the end, we know we did something good. I mean, I feel really good about this because it's going to be a win for Karen Reed. I really feel like that.
Absolutely. We've gone over the top now. We're going all the way up to the top of this mountain and shutting this thing down. Karen Reed's going to prevail. Turtle Boy is going to prevail. And we've gone through a lot of the darkness in this whole thing. And they always say it's darkest before the dawn.
And you know what else I like about it? It's like reminds me of cannabis. I was a big cannabis advocate, and nobody thought we could do decrim or medical or legal. But we all of a sudden saw the poll numbers and knew we were going to win.
Yeah.
And when we won, I think, for a lot of us, even me knowing that I was going to win, it didn't feel like it could happen, even though we knew it was going to win. And when you see that you can actually have an effect like that and change things overnight in your own government, I think that the power of this movement right now in Massachusetts put a spotlight on our media, on our judicial system, on the police themselves, and they know we're watching. And I think that people need to keep that same kind of thought on all these other cases that happen every day in your cities and towns.
Very well said, Mike. That's fantastic. Very well said. Fantastic. Exactly.
So I hope people continue to be activated even after this is over. I know Turtle Boy will. I know Sean McDonough will. Mazza Media. I'm doing whatever I can do to help people through the show. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see everyone soon. Hopefully with good news tomorrow for Aiden, Carney, and Turtle Boy. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
On the case, right? Who was calling the shots? What did Brian have on Berkey? What did Brian have on Morrissey? What did Brian have to get this kid right here, the guy on the screen, right there, that guy right there? See him looking at you? He looks like an altar boy to me, right? What got Brian Albert to get this kid to risk his career and now risk his freedom, because he is definitely going to jail. He had, in others, smashed that light. But the good thing is now, all that work that I did is down the drain. But maybe I'll get some kudos. Who knows? Because the car is no longer in play. It's not. So people, Jeff Williams, Lana Del Turtle, Snatch, if it wasn't the car, who was it? Karen didn't do it. He was killed inside, people. We were always right. They just were hiding that all famous little piece of meat that no one wants me to say anymore. They hid it the whole time. And they framed poor Karen. And they tortured her. And they took advantage of her. Just like this piece of scum right here took advantage of Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe. Probably Paul too, but definitely he got those people, right, at the time of need and the time of their greed, because it's going to come up. But I think we've got over most of it. But here's the most important now. This is the time, and I know it because I've lived it for 35 years. You're going to see the rats jumping the ship. Going to be going down to South Boston, knocking on Levy's door. I want to help myself, because guess what? Now he's under investigation by his own department. Probably a little bit too late there, guys. Colonel Mon, you should be ashamed of yourself. You knew this was going on. You got a letter back in July, right? Addressed to you. You know you got that letter. It was addressed just like it was addressed to Helena Rafferty. By the way, Helena, really? Is this what you were trying to let us led us on to believe, right, Helena? Oh, just let it work it out in the court system, right? Really? If we didn't ask the hard questions, if Peter Murphy and myself and 4 of the people that I got together didn't start digging and digging, and Karen Reed and her team didn't start digging, right? You would be sitting in court right now and probably nothing would have happened. But guess what? You didn't factor in that the great FBI had you the whole time. And Helena, let's hope you're not brought into this. Let's hope Berkey's a really stand-up guy, because we know you knew. Your guys told me that you knew. You see how the game works, Helena, right? You didn't learn it all from your father. You should have paid a lot of good attention, because Peter, you knew her father, right?
I did.
Yeah, he was a stand-up guy, right?
I worked with him.
All right. I know you don't want to say, Helena, right? You got backdoored on this one. All right. If I was you, Helena, I'd get in front of this, because you're the acting chief. You're not you are the chief now, right? You're going to be left holding this bag. You are KMA, right? You know what kiss my ass means, right? In law enforcement, you're KMA, Helena. Don't you think it's time to come forward? You really thought we're going to sit back and let you direct us, right? You really thought I was going to sit back as you gave information up on my dead brother who was raped by a priest in Canton, right? You gave to Sean McCabe, right? You think that was nice, Helena, right? Your buddies told me about that, right? You think it was good telling about my brother Brian, who was a big drug dealer? Why didn't your guys arrest him? If he was that bad, why didn't you arrest him? Why weren't you doing your job back then? See how it works, Helena? The dirty secrets are all coming about you now, because everyone's jumping ship. Because the good guys are in control now, right? The other good guys with guns are in control. The Peter Murphys and Sean McDonoughs now are in control of your future, right? And it's not looking good, Helena, is it? You and Jennifer, not looking good. Sisters in law enforcement, really, Helena, really. Peter, final
Yes,
thought.
sir. What's that?
Final thoughts, my friend. Final thoughts. Where are we going? Where are we going? Let me get this piece of trash off the screen. Piece of trash. Get him out of here. Get him out.
Are you winding down in time? Is this?
No, I got another big thing to say for tomorrow night. But go ahead.
No, I mean, are you winding down with this show right now? Our platform.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah. I the heart's fluttering here because I'm all being.
You're all steamed up.
I need a choir practice. I have to have a non-alcoholic choir practice.
Oh boy. All
right. All right.
Let me ask you a quick
final thoughts, Peter. 31 years on the job. Final thoughts. Give it up. Come on.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me say this first. I have in the last since our last meeting, Sean, the inaugural, as you call it. I'm going to tell you, I probably have had 500 clicks and tweets and Facebooks and people reaching out to me that I didn't even know. And all I can tell you is I respond to them. I call them by their first name and I thank them for the support and I thank them for believing in this going way back to April. And now they're comforted that the truth is coming out based on yesterday, particularly. I think right now the end is near. You're more in depth, up to speed with what these feds are going to do time-wise. We've all been waiting for it. It's overdue. Now the state is acting on their personnel. I got to think it's going to go higher than the gentleman that you had on the screen a few minutes ago. I think it's going to go up the ladder. You and I have said there's a big fish they're trying to get on the boat. We don't know how high it's going to go. It could go to the AG's office, the former one. It could go to the former mayors. It could go to the governors, past governors. Sean, you tell me. It's going to go.
It most certainly is, because I'll tell you right now, if you listen closely to Alan Jackson, he said this was a federal public corruption case. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These guys got caught up on it. We've said I theorized about this. I can almost put my hand in the fire. This is how this went. All right. They're not done. Obviously, they're not done. They got their I's and T's they got I's to dot and T's to cross. They're not done. I know how feds work. We call the shots. When it's time, it's time.
Right.
But they just took a shot across the bow yesterday. But today they're putting some what was the old gun oil we used to use? Not Murphy's. What's the old gun oil? Come on.
Outers? Was it, what the heck was it?
Yeah, clean your gun. They're cleaning their guns.
Yeah.
These Rule 17 motions, they have to explain themselves. They have to explain why they want these records. And now Berkey has to get an attorney. Too bad, Berkey.